Champions, of course, but it's all about Wigan Athletic tonight, and what a story it is. I was mentioning that this time last year, roughly, Sean Maloney was put in charge. In May, they failed to pay the players on time, so the EFL said they'd start the new season with 4 points deducted. Also at that time, a further 4-point penalty was deducted if it happened again, and it did. Club failed to deposit funds to cover the wages. They started the new season on -8. They made up that deficit 2 weeks into the season with 10 points from their first 4 games. Those previous owners have gone. Local businessman Mike Danson is now the owner. Ben Goodman, the chairman. Sporting director is Gregor Rioch, son of a former Wigan manager Bruce Rioch, and of course the manager is a Wigan hero from that FA Cup victory in 2013, Sean Maloney, who we heard from live on Talksport earlier. And the home record is good here at the DW. They've beaten some of the top sides in the division, won 7 of the 12 games here at the DW. You cannot discount them, but as Sean Maloney was saying, it's going to need a little bit of luck. It'll need everybody to be on form, and if they do go out, they will need to focus on that league form. Just 1 win in 6 is the current run they've been on, 18th in League One, 4 points above the bottom 4, but they do have 3 successive home games at the end of this month in the league, and that's a chance for them to put some much needed space between them and the relegation places. Wigan Athletic are all about the recent history, which if you go back 70s, 80s, is getting into the Football League in itself, never mind making their way to the Premier League and winning an FA Cup final in extraordinary circumstances against Roberto Mancini's Manchester City. That was to be Mancini's final game in charge of City. 3 days later, Wigan were relegated and Roberto Martinez went off to manage Everton and then Belgium. The teams are in the tunnel, and I think it puts the pressure on Manchester United players individually. When you think about the pressure that's on them to win this tie, if they don't, this is their best lineup basically, the best lineup he could possibly pick, Erik ten Hag. So the pressure's on them to beat a side that's in League One, 2 divisions below them. And as the atmosphere builds, the light show continues. There's smoke billowing out of the tunnel, and the players will be coming out of that tunnel too. A fanfare very shortly. All the mascots are waving flags on the pitch. There's 2 massive flags on the centre circle as well. Up the ticks, the latex, the nickname of Wigan Athletic, says one of those flags that's being waved on the centre circle as we speak. We are less than 5 minutes to kick off, and here come the teams, Wigan and Manchester United, FA Cup 3rd round. Wigan are the giant killing kings. They've done it to City 3 times in recent years, but can they do it to United? You're about to find out on Talksport with FA Cup winner Danny Murphy alongside your commentator Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian. Good evening to you. Well, yesterday marked the 40th anniversary of one of Manchester United's most infamous FA Cup days, when a team second in the top flight, containing 2 England captains amongst its illustrious names, succumbed 2-0 to a 3rd-tier Bournemouth side who are fighting relegation. Remains one of the most ignominious defences of the trophy in history, an epic cup shock that perfectly encapsulates exactly what this great competition is all about. And 4 decades on, almost to the day, United face another 3rd-tier side away from home, fully aware that the ramifications of another shock defeat could well be far-reaching. Out of Europe, out of the title race, currently out of the frame in the chase for a top 4 finish, their season largely hinges around success in this competition. The one remaining chance to pull something from the embers of a desperate campaign in which they've already been beaten 14 times. But in the 40 years since Bournemouth, they haven't lost a single FA Cup tie away to lower division opposition. Tonight they face a side whose ability to mastermind shocks is unparalleled over the last decade. Wigan's extraordinary success in lifting the trophy came only a generation after their election into the league. Since their relegation from the Premier League, they've reached the semi-final as a championship team, the quarters as a League One side, and they've taken more top-flight scalps than any other team from outside the elite. And Manchester City can well testify as to the magnitude of shock in which the Latics are capable. It's a Canna club whose financial position has eclipsed the footballing crises of many of their counterparts, defy odds, resources and league status yet again to plumb a new depth in United's season. Well, this is the team they picked. Wigan welcoming Stephen Humphreys back from injury. They recall Tello Asgard, McGuinness and Lang drop to the bench. Tickles in goal. A back four of Clare, Hughes, Morrison and Sessegnon. Shaw and Adiko in midfield. Godot, Asgard and Jones with Humphreys up front. United without Eriksson, who's ill, and the injured Anthony. Anana in goal. Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Evans, whose last FA Cup tie was the 2021 final, and Dalot, McTominay and Mainu, Garnacho, Fernandes and Rashford, with Hoyland back up front. Danny Murphy's alongside me, the man who knows the idiosyncrasies of this competition inside out. Danny, there are a fair few believers around us. They fancy their chances tonight, Wigan.
Well, they do. They've got young, hungry players who want to prove a point to the world. They want to show people their qualities. I used to enjoy both. I mean, I've been in the FA Cup as an underdog and a favourite. And I think as the favourite, what your job is to make sure those players you're up against know why you're playing in the Premier League and they're not. And that takes a mentality, a strong mentality, and then bravery to get on the ball in difficult circumstances like tonight. For the Wigan side as underdogs, they've got to play free. Leave everything out there, enjoy yourself, give everything you've got and just try and impact the game. Try and let people remember you when the game finishes.
Well, the referee tonight is Anthony Taylor. The prize is a trip to either Newport or Eastleigh. The Wigan players just emerging from their huddle in their blue and white striped shirts with the dark blue backs and the white trim. Manchester United red shirts and white shorts, and they'll be kicking from right to left. Well, in the last 20 seasons, Wigan have won the FA Cup as often as Manchester United. Tonight, a club who've had epic cup highs and desperate financial lows aim to overturn a 54-place disparity and heighten United's recent misery. We're underway. Scott McTominay playing the ball back for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now Rafael Varane. So much experience in this Manchester United team, but can they make it pay on a night that is the archetypal FA Cup banana skin? Here's Johnny Evans. And now Varane able to bring the ball forward towards the halfway line. He's put under pressure by Humphreys, who had been rated as very doubtful for this cup tie tonight, but fit enough to be able to play. Evans will bring it forward again. All the early possession with Manchester United, with Rashford on the ball now on the left-hand touchline as he tried to turn and get past Godot. Found no way through. It's put out of play for a Manchester United throw. We're a minute in. You're with Talksport. Wigan Athletic against Manchester United in the FA Cup, with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. And United win another throw over on the far touchline. Wigan at the moment just happy to keep bodies behind the ball, keep things very tight in what is a back four when they haven't got the ball, but they'll drop Godot in on the right-hand side. They'll drop Jones in on the left. Sometimes it'll be a back five, almost a back six at times when they're out of possession.
I remember Jose Mourinho doing that many times, giving the opposition respect, trying to play on the counter. Nothing wrong with that.
Humphreys will look for Martial Godot making his way forward down the right-hand side. It's easily mopped up though by Manchester United's Diogo Dalot. And four from him to Andre Onana, who won the Dutch Cup in his Ajax days, making his FA Cup bow today. Dalot playing it back here for Johnny Evans. Evans, who played in United's only ever defeat to Wigan 12 years ago. The only man that's ever scored a winning goal for Wigan against Manchester United, Sean Maloney. And he stands patrolling the edge of the Wigan technical area down beneath us as his Atlantic side pick up the ball with Clare, but they're struggling just to string the passes together at the moment. And anytime they get their foot on the ball, it's a man in red that swiftly has it again moments later. Here's Scott McTominay now. Lancastrian Scottish international. Played forward through the midfield. Anthony Taylor taking evasive action to make sure the ball found its way through towards Mainu, but his ball to Rashford not the best. Clare picking it up, releasing Godot. He's got the opportunity here to run at Johnny
Good
Evans.
ball.
It's a good ball inside the penalty area, and Asgard forces a strong save from Onana. Asgard then with a low skidding cross across the edge of the 6-yard box. Onana can pick that up. First sight of goal to Wigan Athletic.
It's a great break from Wigan down this right side with Godot. And when he puts the ball across, it's Asgard. He's got more time than he thinks, but I think he should score. It's a decent save from Onana. Best chance of the game, came from nowhere. Burst forward from the right-hand side. Poor defending it was actually from Rashford. He pulled out of the tackle.
They scored at Exeter in round 1, Tello Asgard, but the goal here for Liverpudlian against Manchester United would have meant the world for him. 3.5 gone, 0-0.
Really good chance.
Evans getting it forward here for Dalot. So an early warning shot across the Manchester United bows, and if they were at any level guilty on an individual basis of underestimating Wigan Athletic, I think that will have been a lively wake-up call.
Well, it's a chance for these Wigan players to make history. It's a chance to be a star. It's a chance to make memories, all those things when you're the underdog.
So Dalot will bring it forward here for United towards the edge of the penalty area. Evans has made his way forward. Left-footed ball clipped inside the penalty area. It beat the goalkeeper, Tickle, but he's headed away. Sessegnon getting it clear. Fernandes then laying it back for Varane. Back for Bruno Fernandes again. 0-0 with 4 minutes gone here on Talksport between Wigan, 18th in League One, and Manchester United 54 places above them in the pyramid at 8th in the Premier League. Evans finding Varane. Everybody apart from Onana inside the Wigan half of the field. Varane just poking it forward to the retreating Højlund, who drops off, but no Wigan player went with him significantly. They were happy just to keep the shape, the two centre-halves, staying put on the edge of the penalty area. With Shaw not too far in front of them. That's Liam Shaw of Wigan. Now Evans down towards Rashford. Rashford a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline. Just lays it back away from Sean Clare to find Dalot.
I think Rashford's got to go at him early on there. Big open space behind the right back. He's so quick, Rashford. So difficult when he's direct. But it's just easy option to go back. I think early on, test your fullback.
Asgard in very strongly, the man that had that really good opportunity. A little bit too strong. The referee's played the advantage, so United have it back. Fernandes working it out towards Rashford. Now he'll go at Clare. Whips it across the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away. And a little break here for Godot. Godot turning inside, getting away from Bruno Fernandes, who wanted to make a challenge. Clare then through the midfield. Shaw back to him. And then centre-half Morrison will poke it back to his goalkeeper Tickle. And it was very elegantly played as Manchester United wanted to press, and Wigan kept their nerve and calmly played out and then win the throw off Højlund.
I was just watching Wigan play out from the back there. They're making little patterns and little triangles, but they need an option. The front man, I was watching him and he stood behind Johnny Evans, not giving them an option to go long. Sometimes you've got to show for your centre-halves and full-backs when you're playing deep so they can have an elbow.
Those are thoughts of Danny Murphy. It's Wigan 0, Manchester United 0. And a throw that Johnny Evans is going to delegate to Diogo Dalot. Dalot takes the throw straight back for Evans. Humphries chasing, but United easily able to string the passes together. And Maino will play it out towards the right-hand side for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka has just signed a new 1-year contract extension at Old Trafford. Ball played into the feet of Højlund. Højlund very quickly put under pressure. Bobby Maino just able to guard it back for Johnny Evans. And Evans, having played the ball back for Onana, turned and put his hands out and looked at Rashford as if to say, where's the passing option? What are you doing? What's the movement off the ball? How are you making this easy for me? Wigan get on the end of another Route 1 ball forward from United this time. And Godot has lost it in the dangerous area to Dalot. Little 1-2 with Rashford. Pull back towards Fernandes. And Fernandes has got a bit of time and space in the midfield as he goes back for Varane.
Good shape from Wigan. Looks like a 4-4-1-1. Nice and narrow, condensed spaces, trying to play offside there.
And they didn't get Dalot offside. The ball is played inside the penalty area. Chested down by Garnacho, but he didn't have time to get a shot in. Steven Sessegnon saw to that and clears out towards the far touchline, the United right, but they will come again. So 8 on the clock. Still 0-0. A lot of the play concentrated around the edge of the Wigan penalty area, but it's the Latics themselves with Asgard who've had the one clear opportunity so far that Onana saved. Bobby Maino. Back for Fernandes. Rashford will pick it up again. They're doubling up on him, Godot and Clare, the right winger and right back. Fernandes to Dalot. Will just benefit from that little bit of space as the United keeper Wigan keeper Weathereye on Rashford. Then as the ball comes in, it's a looping header. Didn't really have too much pace. Sam Tickle was able to take a couple of hasty steps back, catch the ball and make sure that his feet going over the line, he didn't carry the ball with him.
It's interesting down the left-hand side for Manchester United because Dalot goes wandering inside. He's quite adventurous, as we know, and it causes a problem to Godot, and he's either got to follow him or pass him on because Dalot was freed him.
That's a lovely touch by Godot, right on cue, finding Shaw to Adiko and Sessegnon out to the left-hand side for Jordan Jones, the Northern Ireland international, treating Asgard of Norwegian descent, but very much a Liverpudlian. Down from Shaw on the right-hand side. Sean Clare's going to bring it forward here for Wigan, and he cuts inside the penalty area, and still he goes, but he couldn't take on Maino, having beaten the couple. He found the third Manchester United player. Insurmountable hurdle, and United are able to get it away, but it's just one drop of the shoulder, and he cut between two United players to get in the penalty area. Now United will break. Rashford getting it forward. Garnacho's offside, and it's a free kick to Wigan.
Do you know what? It sounds sometimes like I go on about the same things, but going past Fernandes there by Clare was so easy. You're on the edge of the box. You can't just take your leg away and let him go. It's so bad. It's just little against better opposition. We've seen that be punished time and time again if you don't do your defending properly. There's no point being back there on the edge of the box as part of the midfield if you're going to do it and just pulling out the way because you think you might give a foul. Defend properly.
So what is that? Is that a lack of technique, a lack of belief in your ability to be able to do the job, or what?
I think it's a lack of desire rather than anything. He knows you've got to stick with him there. You can't just let him go through it. I mean, if it wasn't for Mainu covering for him, he's in one-on-one. Bizarre, but he's allowed to do it. That's why he does it. If your manager keeps letting you do it and keeps picking you, then you'll keep doing it.
Well, we're 10 minutes in. It's Wigan 0, Manchester United 0, and already it's fair to say it has all the makings. Evans playing it down for Rashford. Rashford playing it forward. He was looking for the run. Dalot outside him. It was cut out well by Martial Godot, who then runs into traffic in the form of Fernandes and goes down. Godot on loan from Fulham, for whom he's made one senior appearance, but he's caught the eye on this right-hand side since being signed by Sean Maloney earlier this season. Shaw's got it. Plays it back to Morrison. Two centre-halves actually playing the other way round today for Wigan than how they did it the last league game when they went to Barnsley. They got Morrison on the right, Hughes on the left today. And he goes back for Morrison again. Here is Charlie Hughes back to his goalkeeper. Tickle taking a touch and then just again calmly flicking the ball outside the penalty area to find Morrison. And now they'll be cleared, left-footed out towards the far touch line by the goalkeeper. Tickle. Wan-Bissaka heads it away. It's a Wigan athletic throw.
It's good play. Calm at the back, that was. I like it. The keeper looks really comfortable with the ball at his feet. Tickle. Really, really assured. And the centre-halves are comfortable on it as well.
Yeah, Tickle's only 21. It's his first season as the first-choice goalkeeper. He's hardly missed a game over the course of the campaign. Very impressive season that he's had as well, with 10 clean sheets to his name. But by early January, that's an impressive record. Here's Varane getting it forward here for Marcus Rashford, who's come into a more central area to influence proceedings now. 11 gone here on Talksport. Jim Proudfoot and Danny Murphy talking you through the action from the DW Stadium. Kobe Mainu just flicking it with his right foot onto his left, forward towards Fernandes. Fernandes, Wan-Bissaka linking up. Then Garnacho will play it back for the former Palace fullback. Garnacho to Fernandes and back out towards the right-hand touchline again as United continue to string the passes together without really making too much in the way of headway. Evans getting it away from Humphreys in towards Dalot, who's taken up some quite advanced and central positions from left back. Wan-Bissaka in towards Højlund, trying to play the way that he was facing, lost out to Asgard. Asgard will chip it into space, knowing that Martial Godot's got a bit of pace and the desire to get there, and he is there ahead of Dalot. And now he will turn, and Dalot drops off and gives him some space to attack. Godot will come back inside and find Adiko. Shaw now. Humphreys peels out to the Wigan right, and that's the pass that's played. And the Laddick fans beginning to get encouraged by what they've seen, but Humphreys with a little shimmy just deceived himself, and Dalot was able to knock it away.
It all started from really good switch of play, actually, from Asgard, who looks really comfortable on the ball. He likes dropping into that little 10 roll, getting the ball, using his silky skills and his balance. to turn and twist, and it was a good ball out and got him out on this right hand side, and again it was Godot. He looks up for it, doesn't he?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, Dan, it's a chance to impress, to catch the eye in front of a national audience that many of these Wigan players have never had this kind of opportunity before. I mean, Asgard's only 21, as we mentioned a couple of times. He's a local lad from west of here in Liverpool, but he's already got more than 100 first-team games for Wigan behind him. Now Varane will play it forward. A chance for the young Wigan players to be able to pit their wits as well against the illustrious talents of Manchester United. United had an opportunity to get the ball inside the penalty area and then turned and worked it back conservatively. Now Garnacho has it. Garnacho back for Varane. Varane working out towards Wan-Bissaka. Fernandes with a clever little flick. Garnacho on the edge of the area. It's a good block. It will fall though for Rashford. Rashford on the edge of the box. Now making his way inside the penalty area. Right-footed effort. Well saved by Tickle, who can't have seen that until late. Dived down to his right-hand side, got his body behind it, and it's smuggled away for a corner.
Yeah, well, he ended up in a good position, Rashford. I thought he was too wide when the attack was building up, but he ends up getting himself in central, which is where you want him, which is threatening the goal. Great feet in the box, goes past his man. It's a good shot, it's a really good save. That is down to his right-hand side, Tickle. It actually came, they opened up Wigan from that lovely little flick from Bruno around the edge of the box. He looks nice and sharp when he's got the ball, Fernandes. Playing quick, not getting caught in possession. That's the way you've got to move defences around when they're sat in. You've got to play quick.
So in the 15th minute, first corner of the game, from the Manchester United left, worked short by Fernandes to Rashford, who very quickly is in possession in the penalty area. Tried to work it off Godot, couldn't do so effectively, and Godot's going to be able to bring it away, but it was a something or nothing ball from him to Asgard, and United have quickly got possession back on the halfway line. Evans finding Mainu. We've seen a fair bit of it inside the opening 15 minutes. It's the last of the FA Cup third round ties. Replays to come, of course. We'll bring you extensive coverage and commentary of many of those to be confirmed over the next 24 hours or so, with League Cup action coming your way tomorrow and Wednesday. Middlesbrough against Chelsea tomorrow and Liverpool against Fulham on Wednesday. Rashford playing the ball inside the penalty area. That's easily headed away. Humphries then trying to get it out towards Jones, who's unlucky. He's handled it. And I say he's unlucky because he put his hands up almost in self-defence, knowing that Wan-Bissaka was going to try and charge him down, and it's just come off his right arm.
First. Hits his belly and his arm. Do you know why the referee generally they give those? Because they don't want to do the running back. Honestly.
You cynic.
He didn't. It gone. He's thinking, I can't be doing that 80-yard sprint. I'll just blow the whistle, make life easy for myself. I'd do the same. I'm not sure.
I know, I watched you play.
I'm not sure I'll give it. Save me running back.
Here's Fernandes with the resulting free kick, which is headed away on the edge of the penalty area by Asgard and helped on by Humphries. Deco tried to win it back from Mainu, but lost out. Johnny Evans has got the ball at his feet. He's 15 yards inside Wigan territory. Bruno Fernandes now. Hoyland making a run, trying to get round the back of Harrison. It's headed away, but out for another Manchester United corner. 0-0.
It's a good ball from Bruno. He's played a diagonal from the right to try and pick out Hoyland, but he's the only option. He was the only option in the box. It's got to be inch perfect. It was a good run and a decent attempt. I think Rashford's got to make more runs inside. Garnacho runs inside to try and join up with him and help him a bit more.
Decent defensive header from Liam Morrison, the young Scottish centre-half on loan from Bayern Munich. Corner to be taken on the United left, but before it is, Anthony Taylor, the referee, is going into the heart of the 6-yard box, and he's having a word with Hoyland, who is standing, trying to stand on the toes of the goalkeeper. Wigan have got a defender between the pair of them now. Fernandes in towards the near post, where we're looking for a flick, and a defensive header, I think, from Asgard puts it away and out for another corner, which will be United's third in quick succession with 17 gone and 0-0. Fernandes retrieving the ball from the hoarding, spots it down again on the quadrant away to our left, on the Manchester United left. This one, again, works short to Rashford. Back for Fernandes. Right-footed ball flighted in towards the far post. Over the head of McTominay. Brought down by Evans, who's put then under immediate pressure by Clare, who turns beautifully down by his own corner flag to help get it away. Sessegnon back for Shaw. And now out on that left-hand touchline, Sean Clare again, just waiting for the ball to come. And flicked it past the Manchester United man. They were almost guilty of overplaying it, as Danny intimated, but only almost. Godo getting it back. Now Morrison will work it back for his goalkeeper, who certainly didn't overplay it because he's leathered his left foot through that Sam Tickle. Then Asgard having his shirt pulled by Evans, and the referee says play on.
It looked like a foul, didn't it?
Kobbie Mainoo. Out to the Manchester United right for Garnacho. Good strong run from Wan-Bissaka. Garnacho comes back infield instead, working across the edge of the D. Fernandez, space on the left. It's Marcus Rashford, drops his shoulder, can't get past the first Wigan defender. Clare will have another bite of the cherry, and eventually when the ball comes in, Adiko stretches to clear, but it is now all Manchester United.
Yeah, it's Fernandez again. I mean, the criticism of his defending is valid, but I do have to say that he's the one player on the pitch you know who can open you up. He sees the pictures, he's got all the attribute, all the various passes you need to open up a defence, whether it's long, whether it's short, whether it's soft, whether it's a ping. He's got everything you need to open up teams. He's the one that's going to be the catalyst for a good Manchester United performance from an attacking point of view.
Well, United put the corner in and he was easily headed away at the near post. Clare tried to lead the counter-attack, and Tomley tried to play it forward and smacked it straight into Mainoo, who did well to react. And he emerges with the ball at his feet somehow, and now Bruno Fernandes can bring it forward. It's 0-0 in the 20th minute here on Talksport. Fernandes, good ball in. McTominay sent the goalkeeper the wrong way but put it wide. Clearest United chance yet.
It's great play. Fernandes at the heart of it again. Break-up play from Mainoo, comes out to Fernandes, inside left position. Lovely little 1-2. Picks out McTominay. You can't find that bottom corner. Starting to run it a little bit in there, Bruno. Keep getting him on the ball and it'll happen for United.
Scott McTominay back in the side. He's been on the bench the last couple of games. Season that's brought him 5 Premier League goals already, 6 in all comps. Evans knocking the ball forward. Asgard is there. He's looked very lively so far. Tello Asgard. Back for Godo. To Shaw in the heart of the midfield. His partnership with Adiko very strong in there for Wigan. Back for Morrison. Morrison's ball forward. Asgard coming to meet it and flicked it back straight to Shaw. Evans is in there again strongly. Referee playing the advantage with Humphreys in possession for Wigan as Asgard went down. Now it goes out towards Jones on the Wigan left. Back for Adiko. Adiko letting the ball run back over the halfway line inside his own half, and then Hughes brilliantly turning away from Hoyland not once but twice. And Morrison and Hughes between them will be able to play their way out from the back. There's a confidence about Wigan in possession at the back. These youngsters.
They obviously play a lot. They enjoy it, don't they? They're more than comfortable to come and get the ball and play in little triangles. But they have to have a plan. He'd done the hard work on the first little bit of skill. He was out and then he went back on himself again. No point doing it. Once you're out, you've got to go forward then.
2 20-year-olds at centre-half, a 21-year-old behind them in goal. And such are the scant resources here at Wigan. They've got to promote and bring in players on loan, and they've done that very effectively. Well, the good skill of Humphreys came to nothing, and McTominay can lead the Manchester United counter-attack now. Fernandes over towards the right-hand side. Garnacho's ball in. Hoyland coming to meet it. Great header away by Hughes. Rashford tries his luck with a left-footed shot. It's blocked by Clare. Pulled back now for Dallow on the edge of the box, and he has fired it in. It's been coming. Manchester United well on top of the last 5 or 6 minutes, and it's Diogo Dallow on the edge of the area. Right-footed effort, curved past 2 Wigan defenders, and the outstretched grasp of Sam Tickle is Wigan 0, Manchester United 1.
Yeah, the pressure's been building. It was actually a really good finish from Dallow. It did look a little offside down the right-hand side of that attack. Just having a look on the replay, there's an overlap. No, he's onside. He's onside just. It's a great cross actually. They clear the lines, comes out to Rashford, who's ends up knocking it back to Dallow, bends one in the far right corner on the floor. It's a nice, tidy, clever finish from the fullback. We did talk earlier about him getting on these inside positions.
Yeah.
Something that Wigan haven't picked up, and he found himself free again then.
It's only his 5th goal for Manchester United, his 2nd of this season. And it comes just before the midway stage of the first half. Wigan 0, Man United 1. biggest ever game between these two sides, the 2006 League Cup final. United won that one 4-0. Wayne Rooney got a couple that day. And the first ever meeting was as recently as 2005, earlier that same season. But United have won 18 of the 19 meetings, and now they've scored 61 goals against Wigan, who've only managed 5 in return. 1-0 to Manchester United tonight, with Diogo Dalot's goal in the 22nd minute. And that would have settled the nerves. Remember, Wigan decided goal inside the opening 2-3 minutes or so, with Onana in a smart position to save well from Asgard. There have been a couple of nice moments from Clare going forward as well, but United have been turning the screw and have now been rewarded. And they're on the front foot again here with Garnacho. He's got it in past McTominay. Rashford comes onto it. Oh, tickle! As he gets it out, it's flicked it onto the inside of the post, and it's come back to him, and he's been able to gratefully pounce on the ball, and somehow it remains 1-0. But boy, is the goalkeeper's heart beating quickly.
Yeah, he did well, the keeper. Got a bit of luck. Deserved it. Tickle. Decent strike from Rashford. Keeper, post, keeper.
Well, it looked as though he just let it slip through his grasp.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
But we all feel that they deserve that little bit of luck. They don't deserve to be 2 down. As it is, it's just 1. Very nearly 2 goals in the space of 90 seconds. Ooh. And that was a poor challenge. Jones having his legs swept away from beneath him by Scott McTominay, and we're going to have a free kick about 8 yards inside the United half. It's 1-0 to Erik ten Hag's men.
Mainu started well, hasn't he, in broken up play, covered a couple of times. He looks really sharp, looks a terrific young talent.
Sean Clare, Morrison back to his goalkeeper Tickle. Hoyland putting him under a little bit of pressure, but he'll just play back out the same way. And now Morrison can work it between the lines. Godot controlling it, turning infield away from McTominay. Back out of the left-hand side for the full-back Sessegnon of Wigan. Outside him, Jones, and he will make his way down the left-hand touchline. Inside away from Garnacho. Sessegnon, the younger brother of Ryan Sessegnon. Play down towards Morrison. Morrison helping it over the top. Dalot, the goal scorer, backpedaling, and it's under pressure from Clare. He finds his goalkeeper. Played out by Onana. Evans waiting for the ball to get there. Ends up on the deck. It was a mistimed challenge by Shaw on Evans. He offers a hand of apology, helps him back to his feet. But Evans waiting for the ball to get there from Onana. It was under hit. Everybody could see that Shaw was going to steam in, fancy his chance of getting there first. I
think they have to do that occasionally as a group. Get forward and try and have the odd press. Try and unsettle Manchester United. Pick and choose your moments. You can't do it all the time against this quality opposition, but on occasion, get up the pitch and take a risk. And he nearly got there, didn't he? Shaw.
What does Sean Maloney need to do in terms of the game plan? You talked about the positions that Dalot is taking up in play, pushing forward as an inverted full-back into an inside left position.
Well, Godou's got to stay with him, I think. I don't think you pass him on. I think you've got to stay with him.
Shaw coming back. Fernandes has won it back and finds Rashford. Rashford slipping it through. Hoyland, the angle was tight. Tickle saves with his left foot, and Clare can get it away and find Martial Godot again. He's been pressed back towards his own corner flag by Bruno Fernandes. And Wigan trying to play out. Godot a little 1-2 with Shaw, and now they work it through to Adiko. And they have been able to get out through the penalty area and out the far side towards Jones, and that was very neat and tidy as far as Wigan are concerned. Haven't had too much of the ball. Sean Maloney would have expected that, but they just need a little bit more adventure when they can get it, and they're giving it away in the middle third quite frequently.
Yeah, sometimes you want to go forward, but you need a breather with the ball sometimes, and I feel from because they're working hard, chuffing across. United have started well, so they're having to chase shadows at times, but when they do get the ball, it's finding that balance between keeping the ball for a little while, getting your breath back, and then trying to play forward and be productive.
Ball headed away here by Evans to find Dalot. Back for Johnny Evans again. 27 minutes gone here on Talksport. Evans is through ball, cut out by Adiko, and Adiko will come forward 10, 15 yards, tries his luck from the edge of the area, it's blocked by Varane. Now Godot clipping it right-footed out towards the far side. Jones will control it down by the corner flag. He's got Humphreys by way of support. Shaw showing for him on the edge of the area, but Humphreys will open up the angle. Right-footed effort, took a deflection, and Godot coming onto it 6 yards out. Couldn't get the touch to turn it home. Actually might have been offside had he got there, but that was better from Wigan.
Didn't see the flag up. He's tried to flick it in. I mean, that's a bad miss. If he's onside, that's a great chance. Really there, you're looking at a side foot. It took a deflection on the way in, the shot from Humphreys.
Varane finding Johnny Evans. 90 seconds to go to the half-hour mark. And Evans inside the centre circle for Manchester United. Dominating in terms of possession, having that possession in very good areas as well. Wan-Bissaka out in space on the United right, but it's McTominay back for Bruno Fernandes. Now Wan-Bissaka making the most of that space. Sessegnon will come across to meet him, but he's just poked it forward towards Garnacho. He can get it in. Hoyland hits the bar with a diving header. Threw himself at it. 5 yards out, difficult chance. Goalkeeper didn't stand a chance, but it's cannoned back off the top of the bar to safety.
It's a brilliant cross on that right-hand side from Garnacho. Superb early cross. Run across the centre half towards the near post. Perfect centre forward run. Hits the bar. He's got a score really, but he's unlucky with the run's great. Great centre forward play, but the finish. But it's a great cross. That's what he needs. Exactly that. It was a great example. And that's what you get when you get Garnacho playing on the right-hand side.
Well, any striker can only thrive on services. Yeah. Of course, had a good Champions League campaign. Unlike several of his teammates, Bruno Fernandes there just guilty of ball watching, and Humphreys emerged with possession. Hoyland, 5 goals in the Champions League, only 1 in the Premier League so far. And as Clare works the ball down the right-hand side for Godot, he's gone past him and out of play. 10 shots United have had through the opening half hour of this game. If you're just joining us, the draw made prior to the start of this tie, and the winners of this go to either Newport or Eastleigh in round 4. There are 4 all Premier League ties: Spurs Man City, Chelsea Villa, Fulham Newcastle, Sheffield United against Brighton, Wrexham are at Blackburn, and potentially it's West Brom against Wolves, depending on what happens in the replay between Wolves and Brentford. Are those some of the highlights? And Adrian will go through the full draw with you at half-time, which is 15 minutes away. Johnny Evans in possession now for Manchester United on a very cold and brisk evening here in the northwest. Anana controlling the ball on the edge of the D. Will join up with the Cameroon for the African Cup of Nations, but going to leave it to the last possible moment. Man United in action, of course, on Sunday. They take on Tottenham. He'll be available for that game and then go after that. They are without Amrabat, who's on AFCON duty already. List of absentees that is up into double figures, with Eriksson being ill and Anthony injured, and they've got 11 that they can't call upon today. But they've won a free kick here, about 10 yards outside the penalty area, slightly right of centre. Garnacho, the player that was fouled. And Bruno Fernandes rather languidly will come across and pick up the ball, spot the yellow ball down, and now has an opportunity really to set his sights on Sam Tickle's goal.
I think Eric Ten Hag will be pleased. His side have been sharp, they've been at it. Apart from that one early chance Wigan had, they've settled into the game well. They look dynamic. They look like they can open up Wigan. And as I said before, that balance is better, I think, with Garnacho on the right and Rashford on the left. We saw that in the second half against Aston Villa as well.
Yeah, one really good ball played in by him so far today. Now Rashford taking this free kick. Oh, it's close. Ooh. Very close. Tickle dived to his right, probably just about had it covered. But he hits that knuckleball so well, where he can get it to swerve in the air and get it up and down very quickly. But he started it just too far wide, about a yard wide. And the replay showed that Tickle did indeed have it covered.
Yeah, decent effort from Rashford. I think the keeper would have got it. He looked to be over there in plenty of time.
Do have a really good record since their relegation against Premier League opposition in FA Cup ties at Wigan. An extraordinarily good record, really. And since they went down in 2013, they've taken 6 separate Premier League scalps. Palace, Cardiff and Man City en route to the semi-finals in 2014, and then City again along with West Ham and Bournemouth in 2018. So they've actually won 6 of their 10 ties against Premier League opposition since they went down, which is an unbelievable record, really.
Good.
But good work to do. They're going to make that 7 out of 11 here. Jones trying to get on the end of a long ball pinged out to him on the far touchline. Got his head to it as he retreated, but they'd just gone over the touchline already. It's a Manchester United throw. Wan-Bissaka takes, goes back for Rafa Varane, who's only ever won 1 domestic cup in his career, the Copa del Rey 10 seasons ago. His ball forward. Sessegnon's able to get that away, clipping it forward towards halfway. Humphreys not the most mobile of strikers.
No,
Evans had an easy opportunity to be able to head that back.
I was looking at that. I mean, Dallow's flying forward into really, really high up positions. On the transition, if they did have a forward who had the pace to get Evans down the channel, it's just a big open space that he'd have to cover on his own. And I don't think Humphreys is that tight.
Humphreys preferred to Josh McGuinness in the starting lineup today. Josh himself not that tight, I'll be the first to admit. Player was a schoolboy international as a goalkeeper and ended up having a very creditable career as a striker. Here's Fernandez, played forward on the right hand side of the penalty area to Mainoo slipping it off. Garnacho trying to get the ball out from underneath his feet, can set up Rashford. It was good play that by Garnacho. Rashford slowing it down almost to a standstill, trying to wait for Godot to engage. And then Mainoo put under pressure. Humphreys and Godot, and now Asgard can bring it forward for Wigan. And was he wrestled to the ground? He was. Hoyland the guilty party. Free kick to Wigan.
Too indecisive from there, Rashford. He's got an overlap on his left. If you're going to go one-on-one, do your little bit of skill and get your shot off or pass. He stood on the ball so long, he got caught in 2 minds, and then they lose the ball. Overthinking a little bit.
Forward he goes from Sean Clare to Godot. Godot looking for Liam Shaw. One back by Adiko. Humphreys in a slightly deeper position. Got a foot in, but Bruno Fernandes is able to bring it away. And now Evans will motor forward towards the edge of the penalty area with Rashford in possession. Opens up the angle, right footed shot, beaten away by Tickle. And Hoyland, inexplicably, bundles it wide from 4 yards.
That was bad from Rashford. Much more decisive. Using that skill, inside, bang. Don't think about it. Go at your man, get yourself either in or out and make that choice. Little bit of skill and he gets a good shot off, comes off the keeper. Don't know what to say, really.
Well, the only mitigation really for Hoyland there is that it's come to him more quickly than he anticipated, and it hit him rather than him being able to control it. But
give him the benefit of the doubt is what you're saying.
Well, you're looking to try and throw him an excuse, aren't you? Because it was a poor miss.
He's in the right place again, to be fair to him.
He is, and he is again in this phase of play as well as it's worked in, and he set it up for McTominay, and Tickle again gets an important hand to it to knock it away. Manchester United could be out of sight already.
They could. They're playing really well, and Wigan are struggling.
Asgard's played it back for Sessegnon, and now Tickle will hammer it left-footed. That wasn't a tickle, that really was a full-blown thump upfield. Humphreys trying to find a way past Varane, who's just had his arm around him, pulled him back slightly. It's a free kick to Wigan in United territory, but much nearer the halfway line than the edge of the penalty area. Just a little bit of a welcome respite, and all the time it stays at 1. Sean Maloney will feel that his side have a puncher's chance.
I agree, but the problem is they're being opened up much too easily in wide areas at the moment.
That's a foul by Rashford on Godot. And Anthony Taylor will come across. The crowd not happy because they feel that should have been a yellow card. And they may well have a case. Now Asgard will make his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Clare comes over. Jones is there as well. So there's a chance to swing this into the penalty box. And this might be their best opportunity. Sean Maloney speaking to us exclusively before the game, talking about how good the attacking set pieces are and paying tribute to the work of Max Rogers on his coaching staff, the man that is the orchestrator of many of these situations. He scored with a superb one against Barnsley in their last game, where it was just worked short for Johnny Smith, who rifled it in. What they're going to do here?
Asgard's hovering for a pullback here, but it's too obvious.
So he is in his hovering position,
Yeah.
about 10 yards outside the box.
I think United are on it. Bruno's on it already.
Jones has knocked it short. Humphries making his way onto his left foot, takes a shot, deflects off Mainu. It's Wigan's first corner.
Do you know what? The fact United players were on it and we were on it sitting here, it's a little distraction one. It's nice. It was well worked, making it obvious. And then, of course, the little bit of cleverness by going direct with Humphries. Good, clever.
Just tapped it short and Humphries made his way through. They take the corner short, but the assistant referee on this near touchline wasn't happy. It's Adam Nunn. He's not happy with something that he saw, whether the ball wasn't correctly spotted on the quadrant. They'll work that same one again, short in towards Godo. Godo's got Jones outside him. Godo clipping it in towards the far post. A little brush header falls on the edge of the penalty area for a right-footed shot from the centre-half Hughes, and it's blocked and goes out of play for a Wigan throw, Danny.
Yeah, it was a good cross in. It ends up falling. I think it... I'm not sure it was on the back, but maybe sure, but the block from Dallow was really good. He didn't dive in, stayed on his feet.
Wigan have a throw, still got everybody forward, taking the throw back for a Deco, and he plays it out towards Martial Godo, and he will pick up the ball now. Will try and run inside. Diogo Dalot dispensed with the ball and passes straight to a red shirt. And Wigan's defenders are upfield. Bruno Fernandes orchestrating the counter-attack. And a Deco came back and blocked the ball inside the penalty area. And now Wigan can reset. United's opportunity on the counter-attack quickly fizzles out.
Yeah, it was a little sloppy ball from Godo. He's been really positive, actually. Put United right on the counter-attack, but they recovered well.
Wan-Bissaka plays it forward on the Manchester United right. Back for Varane. Varane square to Johnny Evans. Rashford retreating right in front of us. But the ball is worked the other way towards Varane. Varane out to the right-hand side of the penalty area. Garnacho picking up possession, looking busy, getting a left-footed shot in, and that's hit the bar as well. It's rifled back off it, still reverberating. Rashford can't keep it in as it comes back off the crossbar. It's out of play for a goal kick. They've scored one, they've hit the bar twice, they've missed an open goal. It is all Manchester United who lead 1-0.
It's a brilliant effort from Garnacho. We've seen him score one or two wonderful goals in his brief time at United so far. That would have been one as well. Cut in from that right-hand side. Doesn't mind swinging the left foot at it. Heading towards that top corner, but just hits the bar. Yeah. Nice and positive though, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and he is. He effuses positivity whenever he's got possession. Would have been probably the second best goal he'd scored for United.
Yeah.
It certainly wouldn't have been the best. I think that extraordinary goal he scored at Goodison will always remain his best, I think. The ball on the right-hand side with Garnacho here, but can't find a way past Sessegnon. Wigan can clear. Humphries trying to flick it on. He had a willing runner outside him, and Godo's covered a lot of ground and has caught the eye. But Varane able to gobble up this time, and with the aid of Wan-Bissaka, they can feed Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. 4 minutes to go to half-time. Wigan 0, Manchester United 1. Garnacho playing it back for Bruno Fernandes again, who's the only man to score against Manchester City in the FA Cup last season. Rashford down the left-hand side of the area. The idea was right for the run of Dalot, but it was telegraphed a little and then overhit and goes out of play for a goal kick.
There wasn't enough space for that. Dallow's been good. You know, I mean, I think it was the last game against Forest they lost, although they didn't play well. I remember he got that wonderful chance cutting in from that left-back position, ends up on the edge of the box and bent one in, hit the post.
Yeah.
He does get forward into these really advanced positions wherever he plays, got great energy.
Mainu heads it away. A few Wigan fans behind us complaining that Evans had his arms around Humphries. Play allowed to continue. Kobbie Mainu has fast developed into an integral part of the Manchester United midfield.
Yeah, he's very good.
And he's found Rashford for Fernandes from the byline, hooking it in, and it's put wide again. McTominay coming onto it this time, and he looks to the heavens and can't hide his dismay.
Well, what I love about this is Bruno's prepared to try and cross it on his weaker foot, puts it right on the money for McTominay. I think it hits him in the shoulder.
Yeah, I think you're right, Danny.
He's disappointed with himself. We know how good he is from those. He's good. He times his runs brilliantly, McTominay. It's a great run. You just start thinking, what, a couple of minutes before half-time, if Wigan can hold out, keep it at 1, switch things up a little bit at half-time, reset themselves, second goal before half-time will kill them.
And they've got 2.5 minutes to go to half-time. And they're still just the one adrift, but their goal has, on occasion, led a charmed life. There'll be plenty of reaction to the FA Cup third-round draw, to this Manchester United result and display tonight with the boys tomorrow. Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist on Talksport Breakfast tomorrow. Did he a man among the guests? The guys will also be paying tribute to the great Franz Beckenbauer, who we lost today. And that's all with Jeff and Ali tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. on Talksport Breakfast. Also, if you fancy something a little bit different on your morning commute, check out the Chris Evans Breakfast Show weekdays from 6:30 on Virgin Radio. You can listen to Virgin Radio on DAB or get it by downloading the app. Also, if you've got the Talksport app, then you can keep abreast of all of the live action that's going on. We've got a choice of games for you tomorrow night. That'll be on Teesside for Middlesbrough against Chelsea, the League Cup semi-final first leg, and also it's Derby against Bradford in the EFL Trophy. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff live on Talksport 2 tomorrow. The game that Borough kicks off at 8. This one just approaching half-time, a couple of minutes to 9, an 8:15 kickoff. Ball out of play for a Manchester United throw on the far touchline, and Manchester United very good value for a 1-0 lead in a half in which they've had 16 attempts so far.
Yeah, it's been good. You'll be pleased, Eric Ten Hag. Lots of positives. I'd be thinking about a change of shape if I was Wigan.
At the back, what, 2 or 3?
Yeah, just to try and stay in that game early second half. That's if they get to half-time, by the way.
Wan-Bissaka just checking back from down near the corner flag. Sessegnon watching his every move. Laid back on the right-hand side of the penalty area towards Garnacho, and Garnacho playing it in. There's a little double ricochet as its right-footed cross hit Sessegnon, then came back in to Garnacho before going over the line. Out of play for a goal kick. Got to be taken by Tickle. They spent 8 years in the Premier League, Wigan. They finished 10th in 2006. That was their first season up, and ended up being their best finish. They reached the League Cup final that year when they lost to Manchester United. But currently they would be 10th in League One if it wasn't for their 8-point penalty. That gives you an idea of the standard of this Wigan side. They do sit 18th. We're into 1 added minute at the end of this first half. And Onana, who started the game making a very important save from Tello Asgard in the 3rd minute, just plays out now to Menu. Menu will turn away from the backtracking Humphreys. McTominay down towards Dalot. Marcus Rashford has it now on the left-hand side. A few more seconds for Wigan to hold on to the 1-0 deficit. And Bruno Fernandes has made their job that little bit easier, hitting a shot on the turn from the edge of the penalty area, which has gone high and wide, and Wigan will be in no hurry to restart proceedings. Tickle will do everything he can to make sure that his goal kicks the last touch of the half.
It's been good, Bruno Fernandes, I have to say. Really sharp, really on it, setting the pace, setting the tone in terms of the passing, round corners, 1 touch, 2 touch, speed of pass, creative, everything you want at games like this where you're under a bit of pressure against an opposition that's tenacious. It's been really good.
Well, Wigan have had the tenacity, but it's Manchester United that have had that little bit of quality. They've scored 1. They should already be out of sight. A couple of poor finishes in front of goal. A couple of good finishes have hit the crossbar. Wigan hanging in there, still have a puncher's chance in this second half. But Manchester United completely dominant in every statistical metric. Half-time is Wigan 0, United 1.
And when that United goal went in after 21 minutes, the whole side of the ground, they've got the whole side, the United fans erupted 1-0. And I'd say the best player in the first half, Diogo Dalot, man with the goal, given too much time to set himself and curl in a shot into the corner past the keeper. But Danny Murphy, explain to me what exactly Diogo Dalot's position has been in that first half. He seems to have been centre forward, left back, midfield, everywhere.
He seems to be free. He's playing left back, obviously, when they defend. He gets back in there, but he just bombs, and he senses chances to try and get himself a goal. He does it in Premier games as well. This ain't a disrespect to Wigan. He leaves them open. That's what I'm talking about, the vulnerability. If Evans is isolated there, if they can get some pace down this side, but He bombs inside rather than outside. He occasionally goes outside because the space is there, but he likes to go out to in and get himself in that danger area on his right foot and try and score goals. It's cavalier, but it's actually given Wigan a problem, and it actually gave Forest a few problems in the game he played there as well. The problem is with it, of course, is when you have a transition and your fullbacks are that high and that forward, you can be vulnerable.
Yeah, you can leave spaces behind you. He actually was the first United player, and he might have been closest to the tunnel, but he sprinted off Diogo Dalot after doing a lot of work, covering a lot of ground in that first half. And really, United should be 3 or 4 up, but it could all have been so different. Remember that City game here where Will Grigg took basically the only chance Wigan had all night after City racked up about 20-30 chances? Yeah. Taylor Ascott has to score that opportunity in the second minute, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a glaring miss, but it was a really good opportunity and a decent save. The thing is, if you score first, the pressure grows on the United players then, and everyone in this stadium gets behind, well, every Wigan fan gets behind Wigan, and all of a sudden you've got something to hang on to. When that didn't go in and United started then getting some confidence on the ball and working out who was playing where and how to stop them, they took control of the game. And the first goal really deflates you as a lower league team. Been there before where the goal goes in and you just feel like your bubbles burst. Now you've got a mountain to climb. Now you're really going to need someone to go for you. And United grew in confidence from after that first goal.
Yeah, they've got to be more attacking, I think. They're going to be more mobile, I think, Wigan as well. And I think, United have had a lot of chances and should be clearing away, but they're not. And 1-0 is a scoreline that gives Wigan a chance in the second half. And at the very least, we can say 2 things about Wigan. They are adventurous, but they're also very comfortable on the ball. You've got a young keeper, 2 young centre-halves. They're happy passing it about. They don't feel the pressure.
Really good.
United. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's been good to watch. I can see what they're doing on the training ground in terms of trying to play out, make those little triangles, and now they're building up their little patterns. The problem is when they do get time and space on the ball and they beat the press, the options are limited ahead because of the lack of pace they've got high up the pitch. And that's something maybe they've got in terms of squad depth. A lot of young players, of course. You can't have quality all over the pitch, and I know that Humphreys has been injured. I think he's just got back fit, hasn't he? So maybe they could move Humphreys wide and put someone else up, but maybe even Godo could play up top, get some balls in behind, see if he can stretch them with his pace, mix it up a little bit. We talked before the game, didn't we, about Liverpool doing that at Arsenal. They played off the park first half, should have been losing.
Are you saying Godo can go do that?
Nice.
Is that you like that? You see what I've done there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, well done.
I'm here all week.
They've got Callum McManaman on the bench, and I think that we will see him before too long. Another player that has had a series of decent cameos coming on the right wing is Johnny Smith. Yeah. So he's got a few attacking options. Charlie Wyke, another. They're not going to get 90 minutes out of Humphreys. I think they know that. You can understand why he was picked to play today coming back from injury, but I think that there will be changes before too long for Wigan.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Johnny Smith, capable of the spectacular set-piece specialist as well, could well see some action in the second half. Manchester United lead here live on Talksport by 1-0. We brought you the sad news earlier that Franz Beckenbauer has passed away. There's more sad news tonight as well because the Wales and Lions rugby legend JPR Williams, one of the true greats of the Welsh game, of that Welsh side in the 70s that was unbeatable, has passed away at the age of 74. He captained Wales, captained Bridgend, 55 caps for his country, and was on the triumphant Lions tours to New Zealand in 1971 and 1974 in South Africa. Got 8 test caps, and there will be more reflections on Franz Beckenbauer's passing and the passing of a rugby union legend, JPR Williams, overnight on Talksport and on breakfast tomorrow on Talksport with Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoy from 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Guests on the show include actually the actor and star of Life on Mars, Philip Glenister. Now he's an Arsenal fan, but I also believe he's a fan of Wealdstone in the National League, who recently drew 4-4 with Jeff Stelling's Hartlepool. So Jeff and Philip will have plenty to talk about tomorrow morning. Breakfast from 6. But half time here, live on Talksport at the DW. It's Wigan 0, Man United 1.
Kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, begambleaware.org.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Petplan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Petplan Limited.
You play on, you tuck in, and drink up. Village Hotels, 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
Do you belong here? Next to me on an anti-poaching operation. 2 days drive from anywhere. What's your gut saying? Want to change the radio station?
In sport this week.
Or jump in and keep us company. Still listening? You belong here. Army. Recruiting now. Search Army jobs.
On average, Rift get their customers $3,000 back.
I'm like a rubber ball, like a mountain.
Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds.
Now January's forecast, starting cold and grey with outbreaks of boredom, before brightening up dramatically as Fryanuary rewards sweep across the country, with Merlin annual passes, private cinema screenings and sun-soaked holidays for the whole family. The outlook is very nice indeed.
Brighten up January for your family with Fryanuary rewards from McDonald's. Earn points on fries for a chance to win epic family prizes. Sign up on the McDonald's app now. 18 plus. Purchase medium or large fries by 31st of January for an entry into prize draw. Maximum 28 entries. Only via app of participating restaurants. Terms apply.
You can't beat the feeling of the team you've backed scoring a last-minute winner. Or the ball landing on your lucky number 7 on the roulette wheel. But at LiveScore Bet, we know that when it comes to betting, nothing is a dead cert. That's why we want you to get the most out of betting with us responsibly. We've got a range of tools to help you stay the right side of the line, from deposit limits and spending controls to a cool-off period. Visit the safer gambling section on livescorebet.com or download the app for more details. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Everyone knows that saving energy saves money. But you don't have to go hardcore to beat the meter. Here's a tip. Every time you load up the washing machine, turn the temperature down to 30 degrees. It'll clean your clothes and could save you up to £20 a year in energy bills. Wash, save, repeat. It all adds up. Find more energy-saving tips at gov.uk/save energy.
The Emirates FA Cup live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Topical transfer talk and outspoken opinion to all the deals as they're done. The January transfer window on Talksport and Talksport 2.
It is Talksport live at the DW. Let's hit the first half highlights in partnership with Carling.
The Emirates FA Cup halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Ball back now for Dallow on the edge of the box, and he has fired it in. It's been coming. Manchester United well on top of the last 5 or 6 minutes, and it's Diogo Dalot on the edge of the area, right-footed effort, curved past 2 Wigan defenders, and the outstretched grasp of Sam Tickle. Fernandes is able to bring it away, and now Evans will motor forward towards the edge of the penalty area with Rashford in possession, opens up the angle, right-footed shot beaten away by Tickle, and Højlund inexplicably bundles it wide from 4 yards. Half-time is Wigan 0, United 1.
Yeah, 1-0 to Manchester United, second half to come. That was thanks to Carling.
The Emirates FA Cup halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Well, the draw for the 4th round of the FA Cup was made live on Talksport earlier. Let me give you the full draw right now. Watford will take on Southampton in an all-championship tie. Blackburn of the Championship take on League 2 Wrexham. Bournemouth up against Swansea, the Premier League side at home. West Bromwich Albion will take on Brentford or Wolves. If Wolves get through that replay, then that is a huge Black Country derby, West Brom against Wolves, but they've still got to get past Brentford first. West Ham United or Bristol City will take on Forest. or Blackpool. Leicester City against Hull or Birmingham, an all-championship tie. Sheffield Wednesday against Coventry, another all-championship. All Premier League as Chelsea take on Aston Villa. The lowest ranked side left in the competition, Maidstone United of National League South, go to Ipswich in the 4th round. Liverpool will be at home. They take on Norwich or Bristol Rovers, whoever wins that replay at Bristol Rovers. Spurs take on Manchester City in arguably the tie of the round. Leeds against Plymouth is all championship. Palace or Everton take on Luton or Bolton. Luton have got to go to Bolton for that replay. Newport or Eastleigh will take on the winners of this one. Wigan 0, Manchester United 1. So it's looking like Man United at the moment. What a tie that will be for the winner of the replay between Eastleigh and Newport. I've actually already spoken to the Eastleigh manager, Richard Hill. All he said was it'll be gigantic if Eastleigh get through. He can only think about that replay first of all at the Silver Lake Stadium. Sheffield United take on Brighton in an all-Premier League game, and another one to finish off the draw. Fulham taking on Newcastle in the FA Cup 4th round. That's the full draw. So we await the result of the final tie of the 3rd round. It's half-time. Wigan 0, Manchester United 1. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
So here's the latest odds for the match tonight. To win the match, Wigan to win 45 to 1. Let me just repeat that. To win it, 45 to 1 Wigan. Manchester United to win at 18 to 1 on the draw, 12 to 1. Next goal scorer, Rasmus Højlund, that's optimistic, 4 to 1. Stephen Humphreys, the Wigan striker, 14 to 1. And Marcus Rashford to score any time. He's had a couple of pops, 7 to 4. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Danny Murphy, let's talk a couple of transfer rumours here, because Timo Werner could well be heading to Tottenham Hotspur. Is that a good signing for Spurs?
I think it might be, yeah. I mean, he's not a prolific goal scorer, we know that, but he can play in various positions across the front line. They've got Son missing, obviously Kane left. They've not got an abundance of options in forward areas at the moment, and he's got great pace and energy, which is exactly what Postecoglou likes. So yeah, on a loan move with a view to a permanent, I don't think it's bad business. Quite a clever bit of business.
What did I say earlier? Disrupts opponents.
Yeah, he does. Werner, it's hard to play against.
Yeah, but he needs to improve his finishing.
Yeah.
Jordan Henderson, there's a great piece on the Talksport website, talksport.com, about Jordan Henderson's, in inverted commas, hell in Saudi Arabia. He apparently wants out of the Saudi league. He went there to make a difference, apparently. I'm not quite so sure. At what level in the Premier League is he coming back, do you reckon? How good is he?
Well, the end of last season, he looked great for Liverpool. He looked in good nick.
I was surprised he left.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I think probably, I mean, I don't think he'd go Newcastle because of the Sunderland thing, but maybe if that was the only option, I think at the moment he could help them with their problems and injuries. But no one above that, really. I don't think anyone else.
I'm not being funny, right? He's just gone to Saudi and upset a lot of people. He won't care if he goes to Newcastle.
Exactly.
Good point. He couldn't care less, in my opinion.
I think there'd be 4 or 5 clubs would take him.
Yeah, I think
because of experience, great physicality, and he kind of lost that much in that brief time. The intensity of the games won't be as set, but he might be fresh.
And does that mean for the second half of the season he plays Premier League, and therefore it's a no-brainer he goes into the England squad, given the position he plays?
Well, I think it would depend how he played.
Right.
But if he's anywhere near his level, we know Gareth likes him anyway, so yeah, that's going to be in his thinking. But it's been a strange one, hasn't it? Why go in the first place if you're not going to stick it out?
Well, money might be an answer to that, but you know,
but stick it out.
Yeah, just weird, isn't it?
Encourage your conviction.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree with you there. Ivan Toney, very quickly, we were talking about Arsenal and finishing earlier. He's been heavily linked, Ivan Toney, with a move to Arsenal, and he's been talking about his future at Brentford as well. For me, they're in relegation danger, so they can't afford to get rid of him, can't afford to sell him.
No.
But is he made for Arsenal or not?
I don't think so. I think he's a really good player, but I think Arteta likes a forward who can press with real intensity and do the defensive work, and I'm not sure that's Toney, but he is a better goal scorer than what they've got, so we'll have to wait and see on that one.
We will. All the latest transfer stories, gossip and rumours are on the website talksport.com. The transfer notebook, I think, comes out tomorrow. Always essential weekly viewing on the Talksport website, talksport.com. Players are out for the second half. The home crowd still believe it's Wigan 0, Manchester United 1. Second half live here on Talksport, your home of football, with the former FA Cup winner Danny Murphy alongside your commentator on Talksport tonight, Jim Proudfoot.
And referee Anthony Taylor just checking with either goalkeeper, making sure that they're okay. We're back underway. No changes in terms of personnel at this stage. I'll run through the two teams for you in a moment. Wigan in their blue and white striped shirts are kicking from right to left in this second half. Manchester United, red shirts, white shorts and socks, and in possession with Johnny Evans. Evans 15 yards inside his own half, angling a ball down towards Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United leading it, courtesy of Diogo Dalot's goal just before the midway point of that first 45 minutes. They've hit the bar twice, the post once, missed an open goal and a couple of presentable chances as well. Haven't been able to put Wigan to bed so far. Wan-Bissaka getting it forward. Hoyland tried to turn and emerge with possession, but Adiko, the defensive midfielder for Wigan, made sure that he couldn't, and then having done the hard work, he presents it straight back for Kobbie Mainoo. Now Garnacho on the right-hand touchline. One of the players that hit the bar. It's just run out of room, and it's gone out of play for a throw that will be taken by Wigan's left-back, Stephen Sessegnon. They got Tickle in goal. Clare, Morrison, Hughes and Sessegnon. Shaw and Adiko. Then Gono, Asgard and Jones with Humphreys up front. United, Onana in goal. Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Evans and Dalot. McTominay and Mainoo. Garnacho, Fernandes and Rashford. And Hoyland.
He's actually put Humphreys wide like we talked about. And it looks like Godo and Asgard are going to play more central.
Yeah, just trying to mix it up a little bit, and Jones dropping back a lot more now. This is something they did in the last league game, so it's almost a 5 at times where they will shuffle back across. They've got Adiko dropping in between two of the centre halves, or Jones will come back from the left wing position to become a left back in a 5. And as you mentioned, it is Marcel Godo that's pretty much playing through the middle now, having started on the right wing.
That's why I'm here.
I know. Wan-Bissaka down towards Garnacho. Garnacho, I knew you weren't here for the coffee.
That's true.
Here's Varane on halfway.
Or the burgers.
Well, that was all right.
Yeah.
That was all right.
No, I meant I wasn't here to buy them. You got the round in, didn't you?
Yeah, to make the most of that. Got my round in. It's only January the 8th, is it? I've already done it for the year. Here's Garnacho getting it forward towards Dalot. Dalot and Mainoo. And Mainoo with Wan-Bissaka just in off the right-hand touchline. Not too far away from the corner of the Wigan penalty area. And the start of the second half has taken up a familiar feel. This is how the majority of the first half was, with United in good position. Good possession in good positions. Dalot out of the left-hand side, shot from Rashford. Yeah, he sliced across it and put it some way wide. Out of play for a goal kick signalled by referee Anthony Taylor. These are the benches, incidentally. Wigan, White, Kerr, Johnny Smith, Lang, McManaman, McGuinness, Gallagher, Carragher, Robinson and Amos. For United, Pellistri, Medjbury, Shuratiri, Hugill, Cambuala, Forson, Bennett and a couple of goalkeepers. So there's not a lot in terms of depth on the Manchester United bench. Well, what Eric Ten Hag would love to see is that his side are in a comfortable position, and maybe he could blood a couple of youngsters. Well, the likes of Shola Shuratiri have played first team football before, but he's got a few that haven't. Joe Hugo will be desperate, clamouring for a debut tonight for the first team. Rich Bennett as well. Their chances might come, you never know. Here's Varane, 4 minutes into the second half here on Talksport. And it's still Manchester United. Very good value for the 1-0 lead that they've had for, I think, end of half an hour now. Evans down towards Varane. Winners of this got a Newport or Eastleigh in round 4. In 3 weekends' time, we'll bring you the coverage, best possible coverage of round 4, and of course all the replays between now and then as well, which will start this time next week. Here's Wan-Bissaka back for Varane. Varane to his left-hand side for Johnny Evans. Asgard pushing forward, just trying to put a little bit of a press on Johnny Evans. Evans went long. Wigan winning it back with Sean Clare, who's lost the cup tie against Manchester United in the past, who's in the Charlton side that was beaten by them last season, as indeed Stephen Sessegnon was. So 2 members of the Wigan backline that they played for Charlton in that League Cup defeat at Old Trafford last season. Here's McTominay in the heart of the midfield for Manchester United in his yellow boots. The tall, long-legged Scot playing it out to the left-hand side for Rashford. Rashford poking it back, helped on by Bruno Fernandes. Dalot angling it back through the centre circle. Varane got enough on a scuffed back pass. Onana almost tiptoes forward outside of his penalty area, slows it down to a walking pace, and United just toying with Wigan now will bring it forward again. Into the feet of Mainu, back for Varane, out towards Evans. Evans looking long, and Link Shaw will let the ball drift over his shoulder. It was intended for Bruno Fernandes and goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Wigan right. 5 minutes into the second half, Danny, and as I say, no discernible change to the pattern of play at all.
No, but at least they haven't had a really clear-cut chance. They look a bit more solid, Wigan, but they're still going to have the same problem trying to get out and cause this United side any problems. But I'm pleased he's changed it. It gives United something different to think about.
Here's McTominay for United, right-footed shot that actually cannoned back off the back of Garnacho. And then Wan-Bissaka goes in very strongly in a 50-50 with Jones, and the ball comes off him and straight out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the Wigan right. So what's going through Sean Maloney's mind? All the time that it's 1-0, as we mentioned earlier, they've got an opportunity. They're a really good set piece away from maybe being able to get themselves back into the game. But are they just hanging in there for the next 20 minutes or so? Or do they have to be a little bit more proactive?
Yeah, I think he'll want them to try and be a bit more proactive, because they were sat in for long periods. I mean, it was partly United's quality, not much you can do sometimes, because they played some good stuff, but he's obviously made the change because he wants to try and get some balls in behind. It was all a bit in front, wasn't it? That's why he's made the changes, and why you see Godot in a higher position rather than stuck out on the right. He's now high up the pitch. Hopefully when they get a turnover, they'll want to get him in behind, but it's trying to get the ball. They're up against superior technicians. They're winning the game 1-0 United. They're trying to tempt them to come out and give them space to play into. So it's going to be a long half for them. But they've got to stay in, dig in, stay patient, stay disciplined.
Varane working it forward, turn around the corner by Højlund. This is dangerous for Wigan. Bruno Fernandes' effort is blocked. Comes out for McTominay. Garnacho takes over. Tries to flick the ball back with his right heel to McTominay. He's then won it back after that pass went astray. Did well, actually. Good industry from Garnacho to rectify his own error. Now he's very quickly back in possession. And that's the kind of area that Wigan are hoping to turn possession over and look for the long early ball for, but just haven't had the chance to do it in the opening 7 minutes of the second half so far. Rashford taking it on now, and he's won the first corner of this second period off Sean Clare. There's a corner that he takes quickly. Put his left hand on the top of the ball. Bruno Fernandes hitting it in very deep. McTominay coming round the back. By the time he made contact, it had already gone over the dead ball lines. Out of play, goal kick to Wigan. We're 8 minutes into the second half. You listen to Wigan against Manchester United in the FA Cup. It's live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. 1-0 to Manchester United. Clearance from Tickle. Long, very high left-footed clearance. Humphries coming to meet it, flicks it on. Here's Tello Asgard. Controlling it neatly on the right-hand side. Little step over, trying to find a way past the experienced Evans, and he's won a throw. Almost led with the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. Taken quickly to Asgard. Asgard hooking it back.
Wasn't ready.
Godot was the man that wasn't ready. He was 9 yards out. And he came to him so quickly. By the time he moved his right foot towards the ball, it already hit him. And Manchester United can get it away, but that's the kind of opportunity they're playing for.
It was good down the rail side from Asgard, nice and positive, quick throw in, switched on, got the cross. To Godot, but the Godot.
And now they have it again with Godot. Playing down the left-hand side for Jones. Godot continuing his run forward. Jones just let him go. Goes back for Sessegnon, but he will play towards Godot. Chance for him to run at Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Right-footed ball in towards the far post, but past Asgard. And Dallow will watch it over the line. Out of play for a goal kick, but that's much better from Wigan over the last couple of minutes or so.
It's a brilliant ball. Godot on the left-hand side. He cuts in on that right foot and bends one right into that corridor towards the back post. There's only one player in there. Needed more runners to commit. Needed to get off that right-hand side. Try and get in the box and help.
Well, they've got this excellent FA Cup record that we alluded to earlier. They've had 6 ties here against higher division opposition over the last 10 years. They've won 5 of them. The only one they didn't was a quarter-final tie against Southampton. Mark Hughes' first game in charge of the Saints. They came here and won back in 2018. As Bruno Fernandes plays it forward. Rashford. One back well by Morrison, and then cleared by Shaw up the Wigan right-hand side, but Manchester United winning it back easily. Fernandes and Rashford in close quarters, combining very well. Now Rashford will take it down towards the left-hand touchline, where he lays it back for Dallow. Mainu coming forward, corner of the penalty area. Kobe Mainu turning onto his left foot, then onto his right. Dallow back out for Rashford again. Humphreys winning it back and turning neatly in possession, trying to set up Asgard. Evans pokes it away, and then Højlund wins it back from Adiko, and it goes to the left-hand side of the penalty area for United. Chance to put it back from the dead ball line. Good defending, and the referee has given a goal kick. That was really well defended, that by Morrison. Just stopped Rashford getting a first-time ball in, and then by the time he did make contact and found it inside the penalty area, it was a moment too late. Out of play, goal kick, Wigan 0, Manchester United 1. Here's Danny Murphy.
I think you can see down below as the Wigan subs in and out, warming up. He'd be thinking about that now. How can he make some changes to try and get back in this game? I mean, plenty of time still left, and they've started okay actually, but still not really threatening that Manchester United goal. And with the experience of McManaman on the bench, I would expect to see him sooner rather than later.
Yep, Callum McManaman, the man of the match, and in the side that won the Cup in 2013. He scored in the 5th round, the quarter-final and the semi-final in that particular season. Then man of the match in the final. I said he wouldn't change it for anything. His career hasn't necessarily gone the way that he would have anticipated over the subsequent 10 years. He finds himself now back at Wigan. Play stops because of a collision between Asgard and Varane. Asgard certainly making out that there was no intent. Has gone across and apologised to Varane and make sure that he's okay. Play will stop, but it's going to be a little bit of treatment for the Manchester United captain. A reminder, you can join Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoy tomorrow morning here on Talksport from 6. Reflecting on tonight, looking ahead to everything that's coming up tomorrow night with Middlesbrough against Chelsea in the first of the League Cup semi-final first legs, and also reflecting on the loss of 2 sporting greats, Franz Beckenbauer and JPR Williams, and they will be remembered by Jeff and Ali tomorrow. Chris Evans as well on the Virgin Radio Breakfast Show from 6:30. You want a bit of music on chat on your way to work? That's Virgin Radio on DAB, or download the app. Tomorrow night, Middlesbrough-Chelsea, Carabao Cup semi-final first leg. We're on air at 7 for an 8 o'clock kickoff on Teesside. Derby against Bradford in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy round of 16 is exclusive on Talksport 2. With Dave Nugent alongside Jeff Peters tomorrow night. Then Wednesday, Liverpool against Fulham in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg, live from Anfield again. A build-up starting at 7 with an 8 o'clock kickoff. Sam Matterface and Mickey Gray at Anfield on Wednesday night. And a reminder, if you're just joining us of the FA Cup 4th round draw, winners of this, the Manchester United at the moment go to either Newport or Eastleigh. 4 all Premier League ties: Spurs, Man City, Fulham, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Brighton, Chelsea, Villa. Liverpool will be at home to Norwich or Bristol Rovers. Bournemouth host Swansea. Luton or Bolton take on Palace or Everton. West Ham will be at home to Forest or Blackpool if they can get past the game against Bristol City. Leicester take on Hull or Birmingham. West Brom against Brentford or Wolves. Then Blackburn, Wrexham, Ipswich, Maidstone, Watford, Southampton, Leeds, Plymouth, and Sheffield Wednesday, Coventry. It will take place in 3 weekends' time. The best coverage here on Talksport. Back to the here and now. Wigan making a change while Varane continues to receive his treatment. And McGuinness has come on to replace Humphreys. McGuinness, Northern Ireland international, more than 70 caps for his country. Tends to play through the middle, and it looks as though Godo's going to go back out to the right-hand side. Asgard on the left-hand side, and Josh McGuinness on for half an hour.
Yep, be interesting to see. Still got to try and make some runs behind though. Can't all be to feet. You've got to try and get some balls high, get the whole team up the pitch a little bit, try and get some set plays, just try and get some momentum and get into that United box. Easier said than done, of course.
So a man who once scored an FA Cup goal at Wembley, Stephen Humphreys, makes way. That was for Newport, for Rochdale, I beg your pardon, at Tottenham back a few years ago. And he makes way, and he's replaced by a player who has got a third-round hat-trick on his CV in Josh McGuinness. Wan-Bissaka to Evans, play restarting. Varane just waiting for permission to come back onto the field, which will be granted shortly. Bruno Fernandes in possession. We've played an hour. It's Wigan 0, Manchester United 1 here on Talksport. Shaw driving it forward, smacked it straight at Asgard from close range. It'll break back off of Deco. Asgard down to the left-hand side for Jones. Wigan fans around us on their feet. Wigan inside the penalty area, but the ball not high enough from Jones. And was easily headed away by McTominay. Comes out for Asgard, who got past Hoyland, but not McTominay. And then Varane back on, will clear down the line, and Garnacho's going to get there. And now he's got the opportunity to try and run at Hughes. Sessegnon comes across and forces Garnacho back inside. Mainu taking inside the centre circle will go back for Evans. Half an hour to go. Manchester United's lead still just the one. Doesn't look particularly fragile, mind. Mainu out towards Rashford. Back for Kobbie Mainu again from distance. Right-footed effort. Beaten away by the diving Tickle. Might have just taken a little nick before it got to the goalkeeper. And Tickle did well to get down and make a save. Could be called into further action here, though. United forward again. Rashford trying to get in. And it's blocked by Morrison at the expense of another United corner.
He's done well, Tickle. Made some good saves. He looks confident with the ball at his feet. He's got a nice strike on his left foot. Looks a good keeper.
Yeah, clearly got a few good youngsters here.
Yeah.
Now, we knew that from the fact that they had that excellent run in the FA Youth Cup a few seasons ago, and several products of that team now in the first team, including the goalkeepers. The ball is headed away by Asgard outside the area for Dalot, who did his best to knock it out of the ground.
Well, he's allowed to shoot. When you've already scored one, you're allowed to have another one, aren't you? Although if I was playing in the team and the fullback kept shooting like him, I wouldn't be best pleased.
No, you'd be telling him. Oh, it's just coming down now, actually. It went a long, long way over the bar. And still 1-0 to Manchester United. United fans on the far side in good spirits. Inside, who've lost 7, more than half of their away games in all competitions this season. Wigan's home form actually pretty tidy. They have had a couple of notable scalps here. A couple of top 6 sides have come here and lost and beaten Peterborough and Oxford. And Barnsley, Portsmouth, Charlton and Derby have all won here, mine.
I wouldn't call Peterborough a scalp, would you?
Well, only in his company. Yeah, he's looking shamefaced. Andre Onana, 27 yards out, 27 minutes to go. I was thinking, actually, we were speaking after the draw to the chief executive of Maidstone, and he was talking about the teams. He said, we didn't expect to beat Barrow, we didn't expect to beat Stevenage. He didn't say that they didn't expect to beat Torquay in the 4th qualifying round, though I noticed that. Here's Garnacho, and goes back for Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka to Varane. And now down towards Aaron Wan-Bissaka again, just on the edge of his own penalty area. Back to Onana, who takes a touch, and United just having a collective breather here, really. Wigan no pressing from them. McGuinness is the leader of the line. Now will pay lip service at making his way forward and putting the pressure on Onana, but I don't think he or Onana believed it was going to happen, and the Cameroonian just side foots the ball to his right and gets it straight back again, and we're back to square one. Now Onana will work it out towards the left-hand touchline and sends it sailing over the head of Dalot and straight into the United fans over on that far side. 19 gone second half. Wigan 0, Manchester United 1. Here's the goalkeeper again. Tickle is quite left-footed. I mean, he's got a fantastic hammer of a left foot, but it is all left foot.
Yeah,
and
he's got to learn to swing the right one, definitely.
Because that was played to his right foot, and he attacked it pretty awkwardly. The angle then was wrong. He got the distance on it, but sent it sailing straight into the crowd. But, you know, that's fine-tuning and nitpicking a fine young goalkeeper on the evidence of what we've seen tonight. Adiko playing it forward. McTominay flicking it high up in the air. Adiko trying to win it back. It's played back behind Garnacho for Wan-Bissaka. And played forward towards Kobbie Mainoo again, the 18-year-old down the right-hand side of the area. McTominay will be able to pick it up. Lays it back for Wan-Bissaka. Wigan still hanging in there, but a second goal might finish them off once and for all, because the Latics have had very few constructive goal-scoring opportunities themselves. Their best coming as early as the 3rd minute when Asgard was denied by Onana. Wan-Bissaka again. Will just roll down the line. Past the midfield, Garnacho with a cross. McTominay over. That's another good chance. Took a deflection on its way over the bar and had a play for a corner.
Well, they're hanging in there by hook or by crook. I mean, it was a good block or desperate tackle, whatever you want to call it, to stop McTominay getting a free shot there. But while they are in it, while they are only one behind, you never know. Start get a feeling in the game.
Dalot, and it remains one, because Bruno Fernandes' effort has also taken a deflection and goes out for a corner. So the corner count up to 8-1 in Manchester United's favour. The shot count 23-6 in United's favour. So the chances coming with a regularity, one every 2.5-3 minutes at the moment. Bruno Fernandes raises his right arm above his head and hits in a low right-footed corner towards the edge of the penalty area, which Wigan read and can bring away with Shaw.
He's done well.
And Shaw knocks it forward. Now the break is on. Martial Godo running onto it. It's got Mainoo for company, and Mainoo defended it well. It's a corner. But as he tried to turn it on to his right foot, Mainoo read the script, stuck out his own right foot and pokes it behind for a corner.
It's a great break from Wigan. And as Godo goes down, cuts in that left-hand side onto his right foot, Mainoo just reads it beautifully. It's really good defending.
Well, that was the pass that they were looking for. Shaw provided it. Corner works short. Godo trying to get inside the penalty area. He's got it in towards the near post, where Onana fumbled it a little. It was never likely to be dangerous. It was just whether it went over the line and out of play for another corner. It didn't. And Onana gathers at the second attempt and then will bowl it out of the left-hand side. Manchester United are on the front foot again with Dalot. We're midway through the second half. They're
not going to get many better chances than that, especially with Godo's pace, because he's the one you'd want with that chance. And probably one of the players on the pitch you wouldn't want him up against a one-on-one is the young Mainoo, because he's so quick and he's got so well balanced on his feet, so hard to beat.
Now the other end, it's Hoyland in on a one-on-one. A low shot in towards the near post that was easily claimed. But Wigan have a defender who's gone down here. Is it Hughes, I think? Yeah, just feeling the small of his back. Slightly awkward fall as he tried to stop. That was Hoyland getting the shot in. I don't think he's going to need any treatment. Anthony Taylor, the referee, just down crouching in front of him to try and ascertain the severity of the problem. But no indication that the Wigan medical staff are going to be allowed to come on here. So 20-odd minutes to go, and Wigan still in this.
We are as well, just about, me and you, with this cold.
Oh,
just about in it still.
It is.
My lips freeze.
Yep, it is Baltic on the banks of the River Douglas tonight. Yes, this is a cold one. This is a cold one. Underclubbed, as I often do.
Yeah,
must admit it is very cold. Long ball played forward by the goalkeeper Tickle, and Evans did well to stop the run of McGuinness getting to the loose ball in time. That allowed Onana the chance to come out and pick it up on the edge of the box. And then Dalot backing himself to play out, and did get away from his man. He's fed Bruno Fernandes, poke forward. Hoyland can't quite react quickly enough. Fernandes doesn't get a second opportunity. Asgard's back on the edge of his own penalty area. Foul by Mainoo, and a free kick to Wigan, 10 yards outside their box. I'm not sure that Hughes is okay, because when play stopped again then, he was down and was feeling his back once more and swinging his right leg, just trying to get a little bit of mobility into his back. They wanted to try and continue Charlie Hughes, the England under-20 international, who He's another that's barely missed a minute of action over the course of this season. Ball play forward here by Sean Clare for Wigan. We've got just over 20 minutes to go.
Well played.
Godot. It was. Jones is in space on the left. Asgard's found him. Wan-Bissaka comes across. But here is Jones taking on Wan-Bissaka into the edge of the 6-yard box. Varane literally walks onto it to clear. And he goes out of play for a Wigan throw.
It's that little bit of quality, isn't it, in the final third at times. Jordan Jones this time just gets past Wan-Bissaka. He's got the chance to cross on his left foot and just drills it low into Varane's feet. Bit predictable. That little bit of quality lacking when they do get there.
The Latics getting themselves into better positions. Wigan peering at a fight back here. Ball flicked on inside the box and Bruno Fernandes knocks it away. Rashford. Bottom left-hand corner of his own penalty area. Plays a safe ball to Dalot deeper in the box. Back he goes to Rashford now out on the touchline. And he'll play it through the penalty area towards Onana. Onana out towards Varane. Asghar comes across to put the pressure on. Wan-Bissaka controlling it. Playing it back to Onana. Clearly, it's not my right to try and sell Wigan's players from under their feet, but they've got a few here, Danny, that could play at a higher level.
I think so, yeah. They've got some really good young talent who look comfortable on the ball, full of energy, full of quality for their age at this level. Yeah, indeed. I like what I've seen. They've tried to do it the right way as well. They've just lacked that bit of creativity high up the pitch and that bit of quality that you need to open up a team with United's quality. You know, when you're a League One player, I've been there, and you come up against a team from the Premier League, you're learning all the time, but you realise the difference in speed of thought, speed of physicality, all those different things in a top footballer that you don't get to see week in, week out when you're playing in the League One.
Yeah, they'll be better for the experience, no doubt about that. Rashford trying his luck from distance. Loose ball ricochets to Mainu, and then he's arced one over the top for McTominay. Rashford taking it on again. Knocked away by Morrison inside his own penalty area. Godot trying to make life difficult for Mainu over on the far touchline, succeeding to a great extent. Asghar then leads the counter-attack along with Clare, but it's cleared past them. Out towards Rashford, in behind Clare, who pushed forward from left back. Fernandes has got it, rides the first challenge, goes down. Penalty.
Oh, he's given it.
He has given it, Anthony Taylor, the referee.
There's no VAR, is there?
And there is no VAR. He gave himself a lot of thinking time. I think it was Liam Shaw that dangled out the leg. That was the invitation for Bruno Fernandes, who's gone to ground. Penalty given.
Oh, it's
he's just caught his foot. I mean, Bruno Fernandes has certainly made sure the referee is
horrendous. We've seen, it's not just Fernandes. We've seen a few of them recently. I think it was Jota went down when he could have stayed on his feet. I mean, there's a tiny little touch, and it's unfortunately what we're doing by giving those penalties is we're encouraging people to dive with any contact. Yeah. Because there was not enough contact to send him over.
Oh, absolutely not.
And then he puts his foot on the floor and thinks, oh, I better go over. It's an exaggerated fall. It's an awful decision. And it's encouraging diving. It's encouraging players to go down.
Well, Bruno Fernandes scored in the FA Cup final last season from the penalty spot, and he has the chance from 12 yards here to all but make this safe for Manchester United. They lead 1-0. Fernandes against Tickle. The chance to make it 2. Fernandes standing motionless inside the penalty area, addresses the ball, sends the young goalkeeper the wrong way. Little fist pump of delight, a penalty that he won himself. And I use those words advisedly. And he's dispatched it to make it 2-0.
He's been good tonight, Bruno, and I'm not digging him out because it's Bruno Fernandes, some might think, but it's any player that does that. The reason they do it, and the reason they'll keep doing it, is because the penalties keep getting given. Contact does not mean penalty. Contact does not mean you have to go over. Yes, the lad shouldn't have dived in, but as soon as he touched him, he could have stayed on his feet, and they dived, fell over.
Well, incidents like that, the instructions that the referee are given is that they have to look at 3 things, Dan. The contact, the consequence, and also the motivation. Well, it was clear motivation for Fernandes to try and win a penalty. and what the consequence would be. There was slight contact.
There was. It's
undoubtedly,
not a penalty.
but it isn't a penalty. Do you think, had we had VAR, with the way that VAR is operating this season, do you think VAR would have overturned that?
No.
They'll come forward again with Fernandez. All right, but he shot through the goalkeeper's grasp, but wide, out of play for a corner.
And that's what makes it even worse, because they should be overturning those decisions where players are trying to deceive, because he could have stayed on his feet, as could Jota, as could so many others I've seen in recent weeks. And the problem you've got is you're encouraging players to do it and go over because you're giving them. You've got to go the other way with them.
Yeah.
Even if you get the odd one wrong.
Well, Fernandez on the score sheet.
It is frustrating. It's frustrating to watch. Any football match, any player who goes over as easily as that, and then the referees deciding to give penalties.
Fernandez sending this corner in deep towards the far post. It's headed away by Sessegnon. Rashford will let it roll over the touchline and out of play for a throw. That goal for Fernandez, incidentally, his 70th for Manchester United. They've come at a rate of almost exactly one every 3 games. It's a throw which will be taken by Diogo Dalot. So Dalot on 22, Fernandez from the spot on 74, and Manchester United lead it 2-0. We've got 14 minutes to go, plus probably 4 or 5 minutes to be added on after the lengthy stoppage we have for Varane. Tickle with a long clearance here. Evans letting it bounce over his shoulder, then having a cursory glance to see who was where. McGuinness was bearing down on him, but from a long way back. And so Evans could just easily head it back to his goalkeeper, Andre Onana. Onana dropping the ball on the edge of the penalty area and then put under pressure by McGuinness, who's able to find Varane. Play forward now by Garnacho, who rides the challenge of Sessegnon. Højlund able to pick up the ball on halfway, goes square to his left for Mainoo. Fernandez letting it run. That meant that Rashford had to retreat very quickly to keep it in on the left-hand touchline for United, but he'll play it back to Varane. And from this position, almost certainly Manchester United are going to extend this extraordinary run that they've had in the last 40 years against lower division opposition in the FA Cup. Lost at home to Leeds, to that famous Jermaine Beckford goal. They lost the penalty shootout at Middlesbrough, but that's been it. In 50 ties against lower division opposition in the last 40 years, they've only gone out twice and have never lost. Since they were beaten by Bournemouth 40 years ago yesterday, they haven't lost a single tie away from home to lower division opposition. And they've got through, assuming they get through this one okay, 28 in a row. Ball played forward here by McGuinness, and Scotto has scampered after it, can't keep it in. And it will be a throw to Manchester United and a double change for Wigan. And they're going to bring on the man that scored a spectacular goal in their last game, Johnny Smith. And they're also going to bring on Callum McManaman. Jones, the first player that will make way, and Johnny Smith will replace him. The winger they signed from Burton scored a great goal against Barnsley on New Year's Day. And Callum McManaman, who was in the side that lost the Community Shield to Manchester United back in 2013. He also played against United in the Premier League for Wigan. The man of the match the day they won the Cup, the most famous day in the club's history. McManaman coming on, and he's going to be replacing Shaw. So Shaw and Jones off, and Johnny Smith and McManaman on, Danny.
Yeah, why not? Give the lads some experience. They're not getting 2 goals back, but give the other lads a chance against United to experience playing in a game of this magnitude.
Here's Godot. Tomley sticking out a leg. Højlund play down the left-hand side of the penalty area for Rashford. Rashford running inside the box. He's taking on Morrison, who's recovered well.
Did well, yeah.
Scotsman on loan from Bayern Munich who gets it away. Hasn't played for Bayern's first team. He's made a couple of dozen appearances for the second team in the German 4th tier in the Bavarian Regional League. But he's done well at Wigan in this loan spell. Wan-Bissaka's going to be able to knock it away. Finds McTominay into Garnacho. McManaman in very quickly and follows up on Garnacho. And there's the first real flashpoint of the game. McManaman, in getting in there strongly, then gave Garnacho a little shove, and then another wanted a reaction. He got the reaction as well. The pair just for a fleeting half second squared up to each other. Garnacho, I think, thought better of it. The play's going to restart with a Wigan free kick.
Garnacho is saying, what is he doing? Why is he challenging me that way? No one's told him about the lower leagues in this country.
Free kick taken quickly by Sessegnon.
Great thing about Garnacho, he's tough himself. He could take that. He's got a lot. He's got real personality, hasn't he? He's got fire in his belly, Garnacho.
We're going to bring it forward up the right-hand touchline here, and it's laid back by Smith. Do you feel that you were a better player in your days in European runs and in the Premier League for having played for Crewe in the lower leagues?
I think I appreciated what I had more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was a toughness about me and resilience that I learned from the lower leagues for sure.
As United bringing it forward with Hoyland onto Garnacho's left foot. Garnacho towards the edge of the penalty area. Fernandes letting it run. And then coming back, he's getting booed every time he touches the ball now after he went to ground to win that penalty. Sessegnon's got it back and will bring it forward here for Wigan. He's played it into space to his right-hand side. Johnny Smith just found it difficult to get the ball out from underneath his feet, but once he did, he broke into his stride. He's got McGuinness in the middle. He's got McManaman arriving late. Can he deliver? Only into the hands of the goalkeeper.
He did so well. He just wanted to come back on that stronger left foot, didn't he? And ended up going on his weaker, and the cross was weak.
That's a great 1-2 between Garnacho and Fernandes. Garnacho, Sessegnon had a little nibble at him but couldn't bring him down. Garnacho continues to go. He sets up Rashford from a tight angle and Tickle did well. Came out, narrowed the angle immediately and got in the way of the shot. Knew that Rashford, because of the angle, had to hit it first time. Tickle came out, gambled and made a really good save. The latest in a increasingly long line of them.
It was good move from Manu. Nice and sharp.
2-0 they lead. They're hungry for more. Hoyland, and he was just wrestled to the ground there by Hughes.
Just going back to your question, Jim, I tell you what it did do playing in the lower leagues in my early years. When I did make it to a higher level and then I went back down there to play cup games such as this, it gave me great prep and I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was going to expect.
Here's Garnacho, shooting wide of the near post. Again, the goalkeeper got a hand to it to tip it wide. So you're better prepared then for this type of scenario because you've seen it all before.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going back. It's good memories, going back to the lower league, going to games where, you know, the crowd was full and the stadiums were full to see the team you now played for.
And enjoyed it in a way that perhaps some of your teammates who hadn't had that same journey didn't enjoy.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Willy Camboire is going to be coming on for United in a moment. Had an excellent debut against West Ham recently. In comes the corner from the Manchester United left, and it goes straight into the side netting. It's one of the worst of their set pieces so far. So Camboire will get a few minutes and will come on to replace Dalot. Here comes on for his FA Cup debut, the French teenager. I know that United lost that game at West Ham, but Camboire's performance certainly was one of the bright spots.
He did all right.
Excellent that day.
He did all right, yeah, he did. A tough game, wasn't it, to come into.
So it'll be interesting to see, having played at centre-half in that game, where he plays now. And the answer is right back. OK.
Wan-Bissaka's gone over to left back, hasn't he?
Camboire will play on the right. And that's how they've shuffled things around. So here's McTominay. To the edge of the penalty area, Garnacho. Another shot on target. Another relatively comfortable save from Tickle, but the shots on target are in double figures and the attempts themselves just shy of 30 now for Manchester United. Always had the makings of being a horrible, cold, difficult night for United, and to their credit, they have made relatively easy work of it.
They have. They've been good. And a lot of positives for Erik ten Hag. The mentality's been good. They've been sharp. They've moved the ball well. They've showed quality. Can only beat what's in front of you, and you're right. They've been convincing. They've been sharp. They've been at it.
Well, it's a fixture that historically has invariably ended in a Manchester United win to nil. It looks as though that might be the case again. And here's Clare, right-hand side of the penalty area. A crowd here today, just a little less than 23,000, 7,500 United fans over on the far touchline as Asgard tries his luck. And Onana didn't get anything on it. It didn't beat the post by much. Whether that was a spectacular piece of judgment from Onana, essentially he was going to go wide. Actually, having seen the replay, it perhaps went a little bit further wide than I thought. Nana deliberately dived inside it. He did judge it well. And it's out of play for a goal kick, but another attempt from Telo Asgard. First touch for Willy Kambuala. And his third senior appearance for Manchester United. Nana playing it out. Johnny Evans has got it again. 5.5 to go. Wigan 0, Manchester United 2. And all the reaction to tonight is on the sports bar with the boys. 03717 223344. They'll be taking your calls from about 10:30 tonight here on Talksport at the conclusion of this game. 03717 223344. Manchester United fans pleased with the team that was picked. Eric Ten Hag going really strong. What have you made of the performance? And what have you made of the Bruno Fernandes penalty incident? Plenty of talking points. And we want to hear your views here on Talksport on the sports bar. Open for business shortly. Here's Garnacho, little step over from him. McTominay setting it up. Fernandes put it wide.
Yeah, I think that bubbled up a lot. McTominay saying, I think he's apologising. Look, and he knows. There's so many times when I watch games that when you see a shot that doesn't quite go in or it's nearly, and you think, oh, we should have done better with it, which maybe that was a good example. The setup is never perfect. It's not as difficult as it looks just to play a nice soft ball that rolls beautifully for you to caress into the net, rather than a little bobbly one or a too firm. That one, he bobbled up to Fernandes. It wasn't. I know the pitch doesn't help sometimes, but just a bit more quality in the layoff helps the shot so much.
Now Adiko playing forward. His pass intercepted by Højlund. Rashford trying to find his way through, gets towards the byline, trying to put it on the plate for Højlund.
That was another perfect example. Højlund passes it to. They've got an overload left hand side. He just knocks it out to Rashford. Too much, just too much weight on it. He had to take an extra touch then to bring it back.
Well, before the corner is taken, which will be United's 11th, they're going to make another change. Garnacho's coming off, and Pellistri will come on to replace him. Has come off the bench in the last 2 league games for Gunnar Pellistri. It's his 14th appearance of the season for United, all but 3 of them off the bench. And he makes his way towards the far post here for this latest United corner, which will be taken from the far side there left. Rashford pulling the ball back towards Varane. Varane taking it on and letting fly, and that deflects away for another corner. And Tickle scrambling across. Couldn't get his hands behind it to stop it going out of play for another corner, and they'll do it all again. Rashford and Bruno Fernandes going over there. This is the 8th corner that Manchester United have had in the second half. But they know that they're home and host. They lead by 2-0. They're going to either Newport or Eastleigh in the next round. Fernandes with the delivery here. 2 Wigan players attacking the same ball, McGuinness and Morrison. They got it away between them, and then Mainu with a brilliant piece of skill gets the better of Smith, hooks it over his own shoulder. Pellistri delivers. McTominay maybe handled it. Yes, he did. Just as he tried to bring it down and work inside the penalty area, it came off his arm. And it's a free kick to Wigan inside their own penalty area, but with 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go and a 2-goal deficit, Wigan know their night's work is done.
Yeah, they haven't been able to penetrate, have they? They haven't been able. They've tried. They've had a good go. They've tried to make the changes. They've tried to adapt, tweak the formation. They've done everything they can. Come up against better quality, better experience. And as I said before, a lot of these young lads who are playing against United will have learned a lot from their little personal battles.
Yeah, we're standing in good stead for the league, where
I think so.
Form hasn't been great. It's been a bit patchy. 1 win in 6. They've lost 3 of the last 5 games in all competitions. That actually after an unbeaten run of 9 that preceded it. But we talk at length about how it's a young Wigan side. If they can keep this team together over the next 12 months, they'll be much stronger, you would imagine, this time next year. They could be in a position to be up without a points deficit, now under new ownership, up towards the top 6 rather than in the bottom 8. He's hoping.
I think they have to maintain their position in the league. They make that their priority this time, don't they?
But I would imagine they'll be okay. Ball inside the area for McGuinness, who will try and roll his man. He can't get himself into a shooting position, but it will go back out of the right-hand side of the area where it's hooked in towards the near post. Mainu in the way to block that. He shows such a great defensive maturity beyond his years, Kobbie Mainu, always in the right position. as a defensive midfielder.
He's absolutely superb. He's got real game intelligence. He's very calm as well. Even in his defending, he never dives in stupidly. He's good on the ball. He looks a real find. I mean, I know he's been well thought of there for a long time, but I mean, at this level, a find for people who didn't know about him. They've seen him and you think, whoa, you know, he looks that he's capable at the Premier League level. It doesn't look like doesn't matter what game it is. I think his first start was Everton away.
Yes.
You know, and that was a hell of an environment to put him into. Coped with it admirably.
And hasn't stopped coping with it admirably ever since.
Absolutely. Could save them an absolute fortune.
Yeah, not much. And it's hard to think when you watch his performances as we go into 4 minutes of added time at the end of the game. It's hard to think even after tonight, he's only played a dozen first-team games in his career.
Well, you could argue even when everyone gets back fit, I'm talking Amrabat back from his competition, Casemiro, you'd still find a place for him in the team.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, you'd be tempted to play him alongside Casemiro and let Bruno go and have a free role, let him go and cause the damage that he can.
Well, we're going to see a change for each side in a moment. We've had a double change for United, and we're going to see a brief first-team debut for Amari Forson. He's going to be coming on. Hannibal Mejbri coming on as well. Callum Lang for Wigan. The ball in this contest, which has been over really since Bruno Fernandes' penalty made it 2-0, is at the back with Onana. It's Cambuala, and McManaman has come on. He's wide into every challenge since he's come on. Wanted to make an impression and send United home with a few bruises, if nothing else. So here's, first of all, the Wigan change. And Godot will get a really good ovation as he leaves the field. And Callum Lang will come on to replace him. Player that played in the Shrewsbury side that held Liverpool in the Cup a few years ago and once scored the winner for Oldham at Fulham in a notable Cup shock.
Not when I played.
No, he's not nearly as old enough to have played against you. Rashford's coming off, and Forson will come on to replace him, a 19-year-old who featured in several pre-season friendlies. Amari Forson, signed from Spurs, is a 15-year-old. He's a winger or a 10. He's going to come on. And Højlund is replaced by Hannibal Mejbri. And the Tunisian international coming on, having also, like Wan-Bissaka, he signed a one-year contract extension recently. Cambuala can't control something or nothing pass from Varane before he goes out of play. It's a throw which will be taken by Wigan. We got probably 2.5 minutes of playing time left, maybe 3 minutes. Sessegnon taking the throw. Lang trying to roll away from Mainu, who's controlled the ball on the right-hand touchline, trying to win a throw, and then McManaman is in again. And this time has swept Pellistri's legs from underneath him.
He must be good friends with the ref, because he's got away with 3.
Big grin on his face, Callum McManaman, as if he regards this as his last opportunity to play against top-flight opposition. Onana will come forward to take this free kick. The support away to our right-hand side and the left where the Wigan fans are, and indeed the far side where the United fans are, beginning to thin out a little bit now. There hasn't been any jeopardy in this cup tie for a good while.
No.
Manchester United have been in such complete control ever since Onana made that 3rd-minute save from Asgard. Wigan still hoping to make something happen late on. Lang couldn't get the better of Wan-Bissaka, who's playing at left-back at the moment. Here's Tello Asgard battling in the midfield with Scott McTominay. Callum Lang comes away with the ball. Lang making his way forward. Cambuala blocking his progress, and then Evans will fire it forward. Mejbri couldn't control it. Brought down at the back by Hughes. And the England under-20 international finds the Norwegian under-21 international Tello Asgard. And he sends it spinning, a lovely pass out towards the Wigan right-hand side. Chance from distance, a low left-footed effort which bounced on the edge of the 6-yard box right under Johnny Evans' foot. He's urging the fellow United defenders to push forward here. Hughes into the feet of Smith. Now played forward by Adiko and to Clare. The Wigan right back. Can they create one last opportunity? Can they get themselves a consolation goal? It might yet happen. Sessegnon couldn't get in there. Really good defensive header from Pellistri. And then it didn't quite break inside the penalty area for McManaman.
What a brilliant cross and what a brilliant bit of defending from Pellistri, the winger, getting himself back in there to do the job properly. Brilliant.
He's not the tallest, but it was a prodigious spring and leap to head to get it away. Fernandes now for Manchester United bringing it forward. They lead 2-0 in the last knockings here in Wigan. Mejbri, back for Camboala. Camboala knocking it forward. Straight at the feet of Forson, and he's got it straight back again. Camboala, Mainu, Forson, products of Manchester United's academy, playing the ball between each other. Mejbri gets involved. Camboala now goes back for Varane. And Camboala gets the last touch of the night. It had all the makings of being a very difficult evening for Erik ten Hag, but in the end, class shone through. A night that Manchester United had 33 attempts to Wigan's 8. Wigan missing a presentable early opportunity when Onana saved from Asgard, and United never looked back. Diogo Dalot stroking them into a deserved lead. Bruno Fernandes converting a penalty that not many in the ground thought was. Anthony Taylor did. He gave it. And Bruno Fernandes put the ball in to make it 2-0. But a job well done for Manchester United. And it's still 40 years since they've last lost away from home to lower division opposition in the FA Cup. They're through to the fourth round. Newport or Eastleigh await. It's finished Wigan 0, Manchester United 2.
Jim Proudfoot, thank you very much. Just watching Bruno Fernandes. I think one of the Wigan players has already asked for his shirt, which surprises me a little bit. There's no doubt about the biggest talking point here. Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, with a load of really talented, good footballers who are paid huge amounts of money, and yet their captains had to basically dive for a penalty to make sure they win away to cash-strapped bottom half of League One Wigan. How pathetic is that from Bruno Fernandes? Sometimes you've got to admire that players will be prepared to put their reputations on the line for the sake of their team to win a game. I kind of get that in a way. But Man United at Wigan, seriously? And he's got to collapse to the ground for no reason. Come on. That's so stinky. Honestly, the only person who thought it was a penalty was Anthony Taylor. And he will look at it and think, I really shouldn't have given that. I'm with you, Danny Murphy. We've got to start clamping down on this sort of thing. It's embarrassing what Bruno Fernandes did.
It's not just him, though. I mean,
I get that.
I mean, I've seen it too many times. But the refs have got to sit down together, watch these examples and go, no, we can't keep condoning that. We can't keep allowing players to get away with it. What happens is, one gets a penalty by doing it. I say getting away with it, I mean getting a penalty. Of course people are going to do it the week after and the week after and the week after. It's infectious, it's bad, it's a cancer that's coming into our game that I don't like. And I've never liked it. What we should be doing is punishing those.
The weird thing is, yes, there is contact, we established that. He then puts his foot on the ground and then falls and collapses. Yeah. He's just walked down the tunnel. That was the booing you may have heard in the background from the Wigan fans, who clearly don't like it. Listen, there's a way to be beaten. They know that Man United are the better team. Man United deserve to win the game, there's no doubt. But win it fair and square. Don't cheat to win the game. I think it's embarrassing. I think you'll never get it because, you know, he's a professional footballer. He's above all that sort of stuff. He should really go around apologising to the fans, never mind the Wigan players. Absolute disgrace what Bruno Fernandes did tonight. And that, I mean, I can't get my head around it because...
Well, I don't think it matters who it's against, because I know your point. Look, you shouldn't...
Well, League One away.
But it don't matter. He's going to do it against anyone. And he's not the only one.
I find it even more embarrassing, though.
No, I don't think he thinks that way. I would. I've never done it. Right. So I would be embarrassed. See, the problem is for me with things like that is I've got kids, I've got friends and family that are watching me play the game and do that. But it's rife in our game at the minute, and it's got worse. And it's got worse because the officials are allowing it. Hey, I used to be part of, very briefly, and I don't know why, I was part of a panel, a group of us who was selected to watch, what's the word I'm looking for, where it's post-match incidents,
right,
and make a decision on whether the guy dived.
Okay.
and the play would be banned. So, for example, I think Lanzini, West Ham.
Retrospectively look at...
I was part of that.
Okay, yeah. All right, didn't know that, yeah.
So I did a couple.
Okay.
And they were all guilty, by the way, in my opinion. But no, they were. That's the truth. But I only got asked to do a couple. Anyway, it was a great idea because players were then getting punished and getting banned for obvious dives. Now, Bruno, he did get contact, so you probably wouldn't be able to give that one because there was contact, and you say, well, was it enough to go over? So that probably wouldn't be a unanimous decision. I'd give it because I'm a bit ruthless and I know what he's doing because I want to cut it out. But we don't have any retrospective punishment for players trying to cheat referees anymore. And I think we should.
I agree with you totally. And I think one of the great points that you made in commentary with Jim was Jim asked you whether you felt that VAR would have looked at it and realised it was a dive and therefore retracted the penalty. They wouldn't. We know they wouldn't.
Well, that's the problem in itself.
And this is the thing, right? And I'm starting to wonder, and I never did this before VAR, I'm starting to wonder if referees actually understand what diving is.
Well, they don't. So, look, I get hammered sometimes by certain officials who I speak to because they say I go overboard and I make it to, yeah, I go overboard is the best way of putting it. But it's not too strong to say that if you don't understand football and have played the game to a certain level, you don't get that. See, I would never, ever in a million years sat in a VAR truck or reffing a game, see that and give a penalty, ever. Because I know what he's done. And I know why he's done it. He's done it to get the pen. He didn't have to go down. And we're talking about Fernandes tonight, but it'd be the same with the ones we've seen in recent weeks.
Jota,
a great example, yeah. And he's a Liverpool player. So this ain't me on Man U and on Fernandes. I would never, ever, ever say to a referee, if I was sitting in a VAR truck, if I was asked to go along, and say, that's a penalty. In fact, I'd be the opposite and go, you've made a mistake. That is not a penalty, and you need to change your decision. Or at least come and have a look. And we need more officials on the pitch, but certainly VAR officials, and I hear too many people say it's here to stay, we need to retract that and have the discussion about VAR. And we're talking about VAR and it's not even here tonight, thank goodness. Thank God. That was refreshing, by the way.
We need, it was really, wasn't it? But we need VAR officials to understand what exactly diving is. And
look, I know we're going on about it, and it is a good point. Howard Webb, who's trying his best to make things better, not doing very well with that at the moment, but he's trying, right? That and Jota and God knows how many others we could point out this season, he can't think of penalties. Now, what we're going to probably get is this hide behind the law is this, and we might not agree with it, but we're just trying to implement the law and all that nonsense. The fact is, the referees could come together and make a decision to be a lot more strict on that type of nonsense we've just seen.
That's so true. And actually, Anthony Taylor was in a brilliant position to spot it. And I just really wish he hadn't given it.
He did. He waited. He gave himself
he did
a second.
Didn't he?
And when he saw he went over, he pen.
Yeah. In his head, he was saying, there is contact, he's gone over, I've got to give a pen. And it's almost robotic.
Yeah.
Whereas he's got to get a feel for what's going on. He's got to understand the player who's done it in the past. And I believe in all of that. If you do earn yourself a reputation for diving, that's got to be factored into every single incident that you're then involved with. Listen, that is, I think, one of the biggest talking points. The sports bar's coming up in around about 10-15 minutes. 03717 223344 is the number to call. There's one other little thing on Manchester United I want to talk about. Rasmus Højlund had a number of chances in the game. He really should have scored. He headed against the bar. I mean, there were various chances that he had, but he's drawn a blank yet again. How long do we give him before we've been saying for a long time now, all of this season, he looks good, he looks like he's the part, and the goals will come. But how long is it going to take?
Well, I always think you have to give a player who's of that age going to a huge club with high expectation and a big fee around his head. I think it's always the second season where the true judgment comes. I think the first season is an educational one. You can start seeing certain traits and certain flaws, and you can see what he's about. But I actually like the fact that he keeps getting in those areas. I mean, we're saying similar things about Darwin Núñez to a degree. I mean, different types of players, but is Núñez going to become this prolific scorer? Because he keeps getting in there. And Højlund keeps getting in there. Good runs tonight. Better service, more balance on the wide areas. Rashford knows what he's doing on the left. Garnacho on the right, more natural because of his right foot, getting some crosses in, and all of a sudden he's running across people and getting headers and hits the bar. And you know, let's give him a bit more time. I mean, because he's game and he's a bit raw at times. I'm not sure he's going to be the answer to put United back on the map in trying to win Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues, if I'm honest with you. But he could be a decent player for them. You know, you don't know, just when they won the treble, they had 3 amazing strikers. They only had 4.
Yeah.
So they need numbers, but I don't think he's going to be the main man that's going to become the top United 9 who's going to put them back on the map.
The game has changed and tactics have changed, but Solskjaer, Sheringham, Cole and York. It sounds ridiculous now, doesn't it? Very quickly on Garnacho, he's going to be an absolute superstar.
Love him.
He's got the lot, hasn't he?
Do you know what I love? I said it in commentary. He's got fire in his belly. You know, he loves trying to make things happen. He's quick, he gets after people, he doesn't mind being kicked, he gets up, he goes again, he pops up on the left, he pops up on the right, he runs behind, he's got good at the ball with his feet, and he's trying to do his defending. He switches off sometimes. You know, we've seen that. Sometimes the fullback will bomb in behind him, but at least he reacts and he tries to get back. I think he's a super player.
And I just want one quick one on Wigan as well, because what we've seen here is a very young side, a very young manager, and he had a bad time at Hibs as manager, Sean Maloney. He's come here trying to do his thing, trying to manage a team his way. These are young players that he's bringing through, putting in the first team, and they're trying to play a bit of football. And actually, I think we see more football in the lower leagues than a lot of Premier League fans realise. I think they are starting to play out a bit more, and sometimes they come a cropper with it, I get that. But there's a lot of confidence it gives to some young players who could go on to have big careers.
I think there was a lot of positives for him in terms of the freedom they played with. There were some lovely movements and passages of play where they played out from the back and they had the belief to do so. He talked about it when we interviewed him. That will give him belief that they'll be able to carry that into any game now moving forward, even after this bad run of form. I think they've got 3 home games coming up. And some of these young players look like really talented. You know, I think the keeper was terrific. 2 centre-halves, but look both comfortable. They're young lads, and playing centre-halves hard anyway. I mean, but they give it a real go. Who was it? Sorry, let me get my Godo on the. I know he's on loan, isn't he, from Fulham? But he's still a young lad who looked full of beans. You know, he had desire to get forward and beat people and make things happen. And I really liked Asgard. He's a nice balance. He's a good size. He's good on the ball. He turns well. He sees a pass. Lacking a yard maybe, but he looks a really talented young lad. Yeah, I just wish he'd taken that chance in the second minute. Yeah. And I love the fact Sean Maloney sent Callum McManaman on and told him just to kick 7 bells out of everything in a red shirt tonight, because that gave us a quite amusing little cameo. Thankfully, nobody was injured. Sports Bar is coming up with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. 03717223344. They'll be here in 10 minutes' time. And you will hear reaction from Eric Ten Hag and from the Wigan manager Sean Maloney. After Manchester United made it through, they'll be away to either Newport or Eastleigh. They'll have to even go lower down the pyramid in the 4th round of the FA Cup. That's what's coming up for them. Wigan go out. It finished Wigan 0, Manchester United 2. We'll look ahead to tomorrow night's action next.